You know what? I almost forgot about something. Y'all want to say this. Tonight, I had me some fries with some Alpine Ridge ground beef with some avocado and some black beans, and I put it over the fries. Y'all, it was so good, and I seasoned it with two of my favorite Middle Eastern seasons, herby harissa and el hout. I need to actually look so I can tell you exactly what the name of that season is, but I know it's something el hout something. Okay. But anyway, y'all. So I wanted to come by here very quickly because we were talking about something, y'all, and I want to tell you something. Just my experience. I told you I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning today because it's still Thursday. And so I woke up at 5 a.m. and there was this YouTube channel on, and I actually fell asleep to something else. They were talking about the Donald Trump and Elon Musk shit, girl. And so I think that's what woke me up because I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to watch this shit. So I end up changing it, and then I'm just like letting it flicker through. And then I guess there's a little small short story. Then it ended up showing this YouTuber. But this lady, she like talks about things in like this social. I'm gonna have to go back and look up some more of her videos too. Because y'all, I was like watching this and that's when I went out. Because this video I think is like an hour and like 40-some minutes long. But very shortly, so I'm watching this video and she's going over AI and how people did a test of AI, and a guy in particular, he did a Reddit post. He used a system to basically allow people to ask questions, and he answered these questions, y'all. He answered these questions, or the system answered these questions, and he picked like an Australian voice. Long story short, y'all, some people were catching on it was AI. Other people were just like, oh my God, that's a real, person answering these questions. So I guess what she was saying is how they figured out it was AI. They went into his history and they noticed that all of the history on this page was responding to comments and stuff. And so either way, and I'm going to take out why this all makes sense and why all this is coming together. So I noticed, right? And I paid attention, you guys. And even in this video, there was something that she was talking about that I've had personal conversation about with on a topic. Like we'll even go into the group ABBA. Y'all ever heard of that Swedish group ABBA? I was just like, something about this group just seems so like, I don't know, not plagiarized, but something seems funny with it. Like it's like a group that was put together with an agenda, like a program or something, right? And so, of course, it's not the same thing, but we had this conversation like 2 days ago. Just so happened this came on yesterday. And I feel like the universe always connects you to things when you're in that frequency, right? And so we're sitting here talking about influences of AI. And I want to say back in 2016, there was a YouTuber on here that used to give tarot readings. And she was using an app to give y'all tarot readings. And I was just like, that is just a weird ass shit. Like, I can see it, but I don't see it because the box is programmed, right? The person has it, but is trained to grasp it. And so eventually, like I was seeing it as this person is feeding this system, right? Because you're using these apps and there's like a database, right? It's the World Wide Web, and it feeds back to something, right? Something goes into something and it feeds back into something. And so I was just like, that's a weird shit. And I talked about it too back then. Where I was like, a spiritualist using tarot cards on her phone. That's actually weird, right? And so either way, y'all, fast forwarding, there's a term called astroturfing. In 2016, I saw a lot of people like flocking, right? They were all talking about the same stuff. And according to our investigation, and when I say our, remember, we used to have something called the Mystic Investigatory Agency. Remember that, y'all? Mystic Investigatory Agency. We called it MIA, right? And so either way, and by the way, I'm not affiliated with any law enforcement of any type. Okay, hello? And so people were like bringing information to me about these YouTubers and stuff, right? And, retired teachers and blah, 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 blah. But either way, a lot of them were in the same group. A lot of them were in the same forums. And I was like, Spirit revealed to me, like, who, would, when, why, and how these people are connected. And so, y'all, I'm getting all this information through spiritual energy and other people. And I feel like the people who are on the YouTube, they're not the ones that are spiritually in tuned, but they're definitely working for someone who is. And they're able to pick up some of the energy, some of the information. And y'all, this seems far-fetched, but I'm about to explain this shit to y'all, and y'all gonna gag. And this is what I want to talk about earlier when I got on here, but I was thinking about, putting out the reading, the Reiki, and all that. And I just feel like it'll be hours and hours and hours. And so either way, I found out a lot about a lot. And some of these people, not really wanting to be known publicly, but they're like sponsoring and investing in some of these spiritualists. Okay. And so either way, y'all, I was gagging when this lady mentioned astroturfing. I've never heard of this term prior to yesterday at 5 a.m. And she's going in to explain what astroturfing is. Now, she doesn't get into where it came from, but I'm going to lightly tell y'all can look this up yourself. So astroturfing, I call it astromanipulation, but astroturfing was about a company that made grass, and this grass was like, it released some type of chemical in the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, and it was making people sick. But they were hiring lobbyists, keyword, lobbyists, to pretend like it was good, right? Like, oh, this is some good grass. I use it, and and so it was tricking people into going to buy this cheap ass, bullshit ass product. And this also goes into when I be thinking about reviews and stuff. I be like, people be paying people for reviews. People be like reviewing themselves. I don't really trust that. I'm like, if I want to know what a product is like, I'm going to just take, whatever money I have and lose it. It was a $50 product. I'm just going to take it as a loss if it didn't turn out for me. And y'all, there's a lot of things I bought that did not turn out for me. And I didn't go back and review it. I was like, girl, that was my loss because they seemed too good to be true anyway. But they were hiring these, and then this lady was going into even how during McDonald's, right? 1992, when the woman got burnt at McDonald's. And this woman was suing McDonald's, and McDonald's only offered $800 to cover medical expenses. Now, allegedly, McDonald's did not hire these lobbyists. Allegedly. But allegedly, these lobbyists just jumped on the bandwagon because this lady ended up getting like $2 million. They rounded off to $3 million. And they basically hired these lobbyists, or these lobbyists came along, and they started making it to where you could not sue the companies. Like, they started capping the punitive damages and stuff. And at that time, y'all, it was saying that the lawsuit of this lady getting burnt covered like 2 days worth of coffee sales of what McDonald's was making it, for their coffee sales. $3 million, y'all, or 2 million. And so either way, the lady's giving examples of this in the AI stuff. And I was like, I've been telling people this for years. Like, and that's the reason why I kind of stepped back off the internet, because I'm just like, a lot of these people, they will never show their face. A lot of these people, you will never be able to reach out to them and call them. A lot of these people, you would never be able to see them. You'll never be able to see them out and about. They would never do things to where they're real people. A lot of people stay in the comments stuff, and a lot of times as well, I was thinking that these are these YouTube people, and it's not me guessing this. This is what Spirit showed me, making multiple accounts pretending to be other people, becoming combative. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, girl. Like when people want to reach out, they reach out to me. I'm not going to be on this internet fighting and doing all this shit with bogus ass people or people that cannot show their face and fight. You know, put your shit up there and fight with me. If not, girl, you're faking. And so this all go into this, bro, astroturfing. So of course it's used for political parties and laws to pass. Well, you know, they said it's not supposed to be for laws and stuff, but it does end up influencing. I was like going into the spiritual community. I noticed that in 2017, there was a shift of something. There was a shift of something. And I remember I told y'all that I had a dream, and this before everything started being revealed to me. It was about permafrost. And I remember a lot of my dreams, John. I remember this dream in particular. And I said there was a thawed out rabbit, an ancient rabbit. And it was a thawed out like creature. I don't know if this was like a bear. I don't know if this was like a lion. It was a weird creature. But in this same situation, the same energy, I'm floating away from the earth. And as I'm on the surface of the earth, it's dry. But I'm surfing, like I'm floating away. And I'm saying surfing for a reason. And I'm floating away from my body. And as I'm getting further and further out, I'm getting further and further away from the planet, and I'm in water. And then this Poseidon-like creature threw a trident towards the earth. And I was like, oh my God, it's about to blow up Earth, right? And I was trying to wake myself up, and I couldn't. And literally, I woke up when the energy that was in that trident hit the earth. It jolted me up. And that's when I said, oh my God, a lot of these spiritual people, a lot of the stuff that is going on, this is for money only. This is not just spiritual awaken the people. And then also going into me being attacked, because I keep telling y'all, I'll continue to tell y'all, I have training. I graduated from high school. I graduated from, college. I have, training in a lot of things, going into certification, a lot of things. If doing this was only about the money for me, I could be making $30, $40 an hour with something that I'm actually licensed to do. Okay. I could be making 30 something to 40 something dollars an hour. But I saw at that moment the disruption and the discrepancies in the programs of people out here claiming to help people. Because I was a victim of that. And I talk about this for y'all, of one of these YouTubers. And from the gate, she knew who the fuck I am. And that's why she didn't really care for me, because from the gate, mama tried to scam the fuck out of me. And I called her out on her scam. And so I said, I need to come forward. And before I even wanted to come forward, because I was like, ooh, this is going to open up a lot of worms. One of these conscious people were under attack by these other conscious people. And I'm we're going to say quote unquote. And he was like, do you do spiritual work? And I was like, no. And then he was like, oh, stop just telling me that you do and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what the fuck? How is my channel not spiritual related? This man knew that. So I thought like this is somebody like spying on me. So I was like, I'm willing to, have a conversation with you. And we talked on the phone for hours, y'all. From like, I want to say like 8 or 9 o'clock one day. We're on the phone until like 6, 7 o'clock the next day when the sun is up. We're talking about a lot of stuff. And so I like, I was like, that is my cue to come out and start explaining to people to help them to remember who they are. So that's always been my purpose. Right hand up, right? It's always been my purpose to help awaken people, to help people take back their power. I truly believe that Black people, for sure, is under a spell, and they have been for a very long time. I truly believe that there is an agenda, a spiritual agenda to keep Black people behind. I truly believe that Black people have the power to get out of that. And they're saying, anyway, I'm not going to get into that. I truly do feel that. And of course, this is things that have been put into place hundreds of years, and you're still feeling the after effects of that. So you think it's the modern day people that are doing it, and they're not. Their forefathers set it up. And as they talk about even in voodoo, when the mama or anybody put a spell on you and they die, that ingredient, that process dies with them. There's another process that you have to go through without just going to any type of spell remover, hex remover, root worker, conjurer, whatever you want to get into, however you want to get into that, to untie you from that word. Those people have to have special abilities to be able to connect with that energy and to untie it off of you. If not, girl, you're damned. When they die, you go. And if you don't go, you have life threatening things that manifest. And that's how it's been. And so that even goes into that. If these energies was put out, 1,500 years ago, and you just been confused and confused and confused and confused, you're thinking it's the modern day people, and it's not. These people don't have that type of ability, right? And if they do, they're behind the scenes. They're not on TV. They're not showing themselves. That's not how they work. And so this goes into lobbyists and astroturfing. And so a lot of you have sat down with these spiritual people and you've given them, you've fed them, like people are feeding ChatGPT. You fed them and that's something too. Somebody said that ChatGPT is Google, and it's not. Google is a beta of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is everything throughout the years, and we're going to go from 2012 on up to now. Everything that you typed in online, everything you put online, and your website got taken down or your page got taken down, that was stored in a database somewhere. ChatGPT is the living proof. It's the physical, or we're going to say technical manifestation of that information. She is the goddess of information. And so people have found out some way. And this is how I know what I know. And I always stand on what I stand on. And I tell you, I have a psychiatrist, I have a psychologist, I have a therapist, and I got a counselor. I'm not on any meds for any type of mental illness, depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, none of that. Okay. And of course, I check myself because I'm like, ooh, girl, sometimes I'm moody and this is not normal. But I got into bio something. There's something that we all deal with called bio something. I'm not going to get that information out there, because of course I don't feed my haters. And it tells you that every other day, every 4 days, you go through a cycle. And so your energy and emotions, it fluctuates. And so when you're in that bad mood, allow yourself your space to be in that bad mood. When you're in a good mood, allow your time to be in that good mood. But you're not going to be one mood all the time. And so either way, I came across something in 2017, and the lady was talking about how she designed multiple platforms, including pages, where they were making her money in her sleep. And she said, I use the help of this app. And she named the app. And when she's naming this app, I like zone out, because I'm like, if she's doing this, and this is a non-spiritual person, this is a person who normally talks about real estate and stuff. She makes a platform or multiple platforms and multiple channels on YouTube to now discuss spirituality without prior knowledge to spirituality. Oh, this is what people are doing. And so 2017, we didn't see nobody. We didn't see nobody new. We didn't hear nobody talk about anything like that, really. I mean, you got, some of the old girls, some of the people that have been here since 2008, 2009, whatever. But then all of a sudden, TikTok popped up. And TikTok have influences. They have AI helping people to make content right there for free. And so we had people becoming TikTok spiritualists. Prior to TikTok, they had no spiritual knowledge. They had no spiritual background. If you look at what these people were doing prior to TikTok, or even prior to YouTube, I told you some of these spiritualists on here too, they're all connected. They were jailbirds. They were con artists. They sold beauty oil. Incense. They were incense sellers. The black men have been selling incense on the corner and shit. That's what they used to do. Mysteriously, after the AI started really becoming prominent, 2017, 2018, all of a sudden, all these people start popping up. Yeah, tarot readers. You had crystal this and that, and people, have a cute little background. And I'm telling y'all, the AI gave these people the idea. They had people behind them. Like they may not directly have access to these sources because a lot of these sites made you pay, but they had people behind them saying, I'm going to invest in you. You're going to be the next spiritualist. But there's an ugly side to that. Their goal was not to help people. Their goal was not to elevate people. Their goal was not to see their people succeed. Their goal was not to wake people up. Their goal was to keep people trapped, stuck, and miserable. And so you look at yourself before, and I'm not talking about my people, because you're thriving. And if you're not thriving, you're not on my frequency. If you've been with me and you've subscribed to me and we've been together since 2016 and I've given you information for free and paid privately and publicly, and you have not been able to use these tools for yourself to elevate these, channels of energy to elevate, then you are not on the same frequency as me. So we elevated, we changed, right? We figured out codes. We figured out the system and the codes behind the system without even discussing it as codes and systems. We offered classes like AOK. We offered classes like Art of Conjure. We offer classes like that to awaken you. Some people are like, oh, I really didn't know, And it's like, bro, this ain't for you. And a lot of people are just, curious. Like, I want to see what this is going to do for me. Informants. And oh yeah, she got a lot of information on this and that. And then of course people started to act like they were getting psychic readings and I'm tapped in and all this. No, girl, you were connected with clients of mine. You were connected with students of mine. And they went back and they were telling you because you were feeding them free products. I'll give you free oils. I'll give you a free reading. And they went back and they were telling you all the shit you wanted to know because we were having conversations. That's how I learned to not discuss my private information with clients. Because you're not going to go back and tell another bitch about a fuck ass thing. Because she or he is getting fucked up and you is too. And that's on spirit. And I don't got to burn a candle on you, baby. That's how the energy works. Okay? I give you good energy. I give you good intention. You take that energy and you try to do fucked up intention with that energy. It fucks you up. It's a program. It's a robot. It does its own thing. And that's how magic works, right? And so either way, y'all, they've been astromanipulating for a very long time. And even right now, they got better. Some of them don't even get on YouTube no more because YouTube installed its own system known as the algorithm. They were like, oh, girl, this is kind of blocking me from getting to where I need to get to. Let me go to other platforms like TikTok. Now they're harvesting the energy off of TikTok. Let me go to Bigo. Now they're harvesting the energy off of Bigo. Because there's a cap that they put in place, the lobbyists. And I don't even know if they would even be considered lobbyists. We'll just say there was something behind them for a purpose to distract and to deter you guys off of your goal. And I kept telling people that it's nothing else. And of course, some people fell for the bait. The sleepy ones. The ones that are always going to be where they're at. They're never going to be a millionaire. They're never going to, make at least $100,000 a year. They're always going to be low income. They're always going to be struggling because that's where they want to be at. They allow that energy to get them together. So when I'm making videos about these lobbyists or these AI generated spiritualists or these spiritualists that are in groups asking questions about lemons and stuff, we got the screenshots to prove it. But now they're coming out saying they're high priestesses and they're magi's and they're sorcerers. And I grew up in this. But yet, no money riches could have stopped you from losing your house. That's not like artificial intelligence because it's programmed to give you fake information. It doesn't know how to stop you from losing your house because it's programmed to give you certain information. So that's why you lost your house. It couldn't stop you from doing what it is that you're trying to do or attempt to manifest magically. And that's what it has been about. And so we're seeing in real time in 2025, y'all, AI, and they're blended it in so well, y'all. They got videos of people fighting at McDonald's. Girl, it looks real as hell. And I told y'all, even during the pandemic, they were kind of prepping us for it, right? They wanted us to be locked down in a house. And when you're locked down in a house, what is your companion? Who's your companion? Your phone. your computers, Siri's, Alexa, Google, Cortana. So they learned you and you learned them. And then all of a sudden, after the pandemic is about to be over, 2023, they say, oh, we can go back to being a little normal. We still got to wear masks and keep our distance. Now they're making up AI program shit and use your finger to scan this, scan out. Y'all, it's crazy. They prepared you for what is taking place. They prepared you for what they're doing. And of course, this is why we feel like we cannot stop Cheeto Man in office because he has AI influences. Elon Musk is connected to AI technology. He was meant to be in there just for a little bit, teach Mr. Man a little bit about artificial intelligence, give him a little information on how, because y'all, the courting rule is 5 months. When it comes to relationship, it takes you 5 months to get to know somebody. Artificial intelligence try to imitate us. That's human behavior. AI tries to imitate us with our emotions, with our actions, with our behavior. So now, mysteriously, Elon Musk is backing down. Oh, I'm done. It was work. It was great work. And now they fighting. Girl, it's a setup, girl. It's a setup. And it's why this man cannot be stopped because AI has assisted him. AI has stole everybody's information. AI knows about passwords to get into certain tunnels, certain bunkers. It got keywords. It got logins. So this man has got influenced and help from AI, and that's why I feel like he's unstoppable. That's why he is kind of unstoppable. And it's scary. And so we've seen it on the lower levels. We've seen it on the higher levels. I told y'all, even going into this, a lot of us, a lot of people look like us, act like us, talk like us, and walk like us. And of course, it's not to freak you out and to go around and be like, are you human? Are you a robot? Like, girl, I would never do that. But we know energy. When you are somebody who is functioning, I told y'all, 30% of us have an inner voice. 30 to 50% of us have an inner voice. We have an inner dialogue. We're human. We're original. We have a soul. We have a spirit. We have energy within us that's connected to all sources, all things. The other 50 to 70% are artificial. They're influenced. They're programmed. And it's freaky as fuck to even think about it, but it's true. So like I said, they don't know that they're artificial because they've been trained, they've been bred. It's a program. And just like you can reproduce, they can also reproduce. Oh, girl, you think that the celebrity conversation, as a side note, and I want to tell you all this. I'm saying I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I sleep well at night. Okay. I don't take melatonin to fall asleep. Okay. Every now and then I take ashwagandha. Every now and then ashwagandha. But I normally just fall straight to sleep. Right. I don't do drugs. I don't do I don't have any type of chemical imbalance going on within my head. So this is just things that I've observed over the years. And also I've shared this with people privately. And I said, we're getting into a very freaky day and age. Like I paid attention to how people are acting, how they're moving. And it's like, are these people brain dead? Like, y'all, there's so much accents that happen here. It's not even funny. It's like people be moving and acting where you're like, is this a real person? Like, there's no way. Like, I was sitting here a week ago and I'm like minding my business, listening to my music. Not my job, my music. My headphones are like vacuumed noise canceling. So like you can't hear shit outside these headphones. I have to literally take them off to hear. I can't even hear myself talk. That's how good these headphones are. I'm in line and I'm like listening to my music and I'm like, in there and I'm, listening to my music. I'm, having my inner dialogue, thinking like, okay, I'm going to get this. I'm going to go get that. Should I go get my osmanthus tea? I don't know, blah, blah, blah. A guy just got in front of me and he's talking out, y'all. I can hear him through my headphones. And it kind of gagged me for a minute because I kind of got thrown off. And I was like, wait a minute. Did my music turn off or did it turn down? What the fuck? How can I hear this man talk? This shit is good. Like, girl, it's counseling. Girl, it's pro Aries. Girl, like, this is some good ass headphones. This motherfucker's on the phone talking in his language. He throws the fruit on the counter and he tells the person, can you weigh this for me? And the guy was like, sure. And he's weighing it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why? There's a scale over there. Why couldn't he weigh it? Like, I was so thrown off, y'all. And then the guy checks and stuff. The guy's like, you want a bag? He's like, oh, he's like, paper or plastic? And the guy's like, yes. And then so the guy was like, okay. He just started bagging shit up, gave the guy his shit. The guy just goes out, girl, didn't blink, just kept going. And I was like, wait a fucking minute. So then at this point, I turned my music off. And I was like, that was just a weird situation. And the worker was like, what? I said, what just happened? And he was like, I know. That was weird as hell. I said, what did he want you to weigh those fruits for? And he was like, I don't know. That was weird. But he's like, I did it anyway because he asked me to. So I was like, anybody can do that? He said, no, typically we don't do that. Because, of course, he'd asked for a price check. So he wanted us to weigh it because he wanted the council it was going to be over. Like, he's like, yeah, we don't do that. And so I was like, what the fuck? But, y'all, that had me thinking. And I was like, there's a lot of weird shit that has been going on, right? A lot of weird shit. And like I said, it's kind of creepy because it's kind of creepy. And so, and I want to get into that. It's creepy to even like go, girl, and even going into throughout the year. So even going into like, we did a video like 2 or 3 weeks ago and somebody was all like, I doubt that most people don't have a soul. I just think the people who do fucked up shit are just evil people. And I'm like, do you know that people are evil because they don't have a conscience? Do you know that your soul have a built-in guidance? Do you know that your soul has a built-in right or wrong button regardless of how you were brought up? Right? That's why they say children are innocent. Regardless of how you were brought up, something will stand out to you where you're like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But people who have no conscience, they go ahead and do it anyway. Why would I want to maliciously hurt another human being? Because I understand how fragile and how sensitive we are. If I understand how fragile me, okay, like step back from what you've been taught and what you think it's about. If I'm a fragile person, if I'm sensitive, regardless of how strong I am, I know that everyone else is the same way that's human. So why would I intentionally inflict harm or maliciously attack people, humans? Why would I do that? Because I know what I was feeling like when people made me feel some type of way. I know what was going through my head. I know what had to calm me down. My soul, something higher than me that was in me, calmed me down. Though it wasn't God. It wasn't a demon or something saying, hey, you need to calm yourself down, bitch, because you do that, you going to jail. Something within me calmed me down and said, baby, is it worth it? And so it's like for you to do fucked up ass malicious shit to people and not care about it. Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's okay. They'll make it. Like, girl, we can even talk about thieving, y'all. I'm not a fan of thieving. I don't steal. I don't steal, girl. There's times I walked out of stores with items and we're talking about little bitty stuff. And I went back and said, oh, excuse me, I forgot this. I don't need this. Or, but what's something I want to, I'll buy this. Girl, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know you had that. Yeah, me neither. But I'm not a fan of stealing because I feel like, okay, yes, it's a larger corporation. But y'all, eventually these corporations, everything adds up. And so if there's 8 billion people on this planet and everybody sold 5 cents worth of merchandise, imagine how much money these corporations are losing. And so in my mind, in my heart, I cannot imagine me working hard to have a business to feed my family and generationally, and some bummy ass bitch steal from me and fuck up my motherfucking money and my generational blessings that I work hard for, that I lost sleep over. And that's the shit that I be thinking about. So it doesn't be because you didn't know better, because you weren't taught better. It's really because you don't have a soul. It's really because you don't have a conscience. It's really because regardless of how dark it got for you as a soulless person, you thought everybody else had to suffer with you. Oh, y'all, I've been through some darkest time, y'all, and I never thought about, let me go out and make people feel like me. There's times where I didn't feel like fucking with people and I was in my energy and I stayed home, y'all. I turned off my phones. I was like, I don't want to give people this energy because in that, even in that moment of me being about me, I was thinking like, girl, something in me was like, girl, what happened if you were in a good mood, having a good day and somebody just did some fucked up shit too, which it has happened. But I'm like, no, girl, these are not people. These are not humans. If that makes me psychotic to believe that and I'm losing my mind, baby, somebody check me in now. Because I'm like, these cannot be human. These have to be mentally and spiritually dead people. There's no way. There's no way these people are real. And then I even was doing my little research on other stories where people were saying about how they had experiences and encounters where this happened. And they're talking about a glitch in the matrix, girl. They have videos of people, girl, trees floating in thin air. I'm like, that's AI. That's AI, girl. If NASA could produce some AI photos of Mars and shit, girl, why couldn't they produce some AI pictures of trees walking and shit? Or a red star in the fucking sky? Like, girl, think about it. Aliens in fucking Miami. Out of all places, Miami? Aliens in Miami out of all places, girl? Not alien in Washington, not alien in Oregon, not alien in Montana, not aliens on the Four Corners, which is like, I think, Arizona, Colorado. Like, girl, they're in Miami? Can somebody make that make sense for me? Aliens in Miami? Didn't Vegas have a ship land or something? Why there's not aliens in Vegas? Why is there sorts of people seeing an alien at the Walmart or something? Like, girl, it doesn't make sense. Where I'm like, I know I'm not the only one that's picking up this shit. And like I said, maybe because I'm sober. Maybe because I don't have any type of chemicals I put in my mind or in my body to fuck up my mind. Like, I'm seeing things for what it is. And those moments that make me think like, damn, maybe I am like losing it because I'm seeing shit for what it is. Like, people are like, well, that's how I see it. Or even if I'm experiencing with some people be like, yeah, I did see that. I did hear that. Let me take another good example. Freaky as fuck. And I can have somebody come on here and testify this to y'all. We were both saying, if we were not in a car together, nobody will believe this experience. Y'all, I had a phone that died, right? True story. Right hand up. This is in the past 2 weeks. I had a cell phone that died. And at first I was like, where is this cell phone at? And I was like, whatever. If I left it at a store and it's dead, whatever. I left it at home, whatever. If I left it in one of my sister's car, whatever. I said, okay, whatever. Whatever. Girl, I'll figure it out. I wasn't tripping. Y'all, I'm driving. My hands are on the steering wheel. This phone is connected Bluetooth, but on my car, you have to either press phone and not on the steering wheel. You have to press phone and then the command come on and say, who would you like for me to call? And you can say mama, sister, auntie, uncle, Clarissa, Marissa, whatever. And then it say connecting you now. So there's a process to this. Me and my sister were having a conversation, and all of a sudden, y'all, the phone is ringing. And I'm like, wait a minute, the phone is dead. Wait a fucking minute. I remember when the phone died. I remember when the phone fucking died. And this was like later that day, because y'all, we did a lot of errands. We went to a lot of places. So I was like, I remember when that phone fucking died. Okay, I remember when it died. And so either way, she looks at her phone and this phone is calling her and she's like, girl, where's that phone at? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm looking for this phone. And just so happened the phone is in between the seat and the center console. And the phone is ringing to her. I was like, what the fuck? How did that happen? She wasn't calling me. I was calling her. Because of course we had to confirm, like, oh, was this you calling me? But either way, the phone was dead. So the phone is dead. The phone mysteriously is on. Mysteriously it calls you. You're in a car, man. Everybody could have called. You want to be the last person I talked to. So how did it call you? And the phone is nowhere in my hand or anything. And y'all, that was freaky as fuck. But I was like, this is all energetic. And this is all like, AI. This is all AI giving the illusion that this is something spiritual going on. And I even started thinking about a whole bunch of shit, y'all, before AI even got out like that. And they're letting us like type in online, best food, see whatever. They were also like having Like shit set up for you. There's just a lot, y'all. There's a lot. 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 Which, like I said, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna go into that. But it's some very deep shit. And y'all, I'm gonna keep it there. I'm gonna keep it there. There's a lot of shit. And so, like I said, going into what is on YouTube, what is off of YouTube. Somebody was asking me, and that's why I wanted to come on there and talk about astroturfing and astromanipulation, because of course astroturfing deals with the astrodome, but they kept this term for a broad concept. And I said, well, astromanipulation, because we're dealing with the spirit and the soul, because astro is the soul, right? Influences of the soul. It is a fake influence. It's a master hiding his hand, pretending that it's normal, just like you and I. It's somebody greater than, somebody who has the ability to stop things from happening, but act like they're a part of the solution when they're actually the problem. I'm here to help save y'all when they're the ones that cause the problem. It's that type of energy. And then I'm like, that's what we're seeing with these YouTubers. That's what we're seeing with these spiritualists on TikTok. We're seeing with Sephora and all that. Yeah, it's not a coincidence that before a lot of these so-called spirituals started coming out, Sephora came out with a crystal kit. Who do you think gave Sephora the idea? And then outside of this crystal kit, now you have tarot readers. I just bought a brand new deck of tarot. Let's go ahead and crack them down and see what type of energy it's going to tell me about you. Let's see what type of reading it's going to give you. What? So you're not tuning in to the frequency, the bandwidth of this person's soul? You're not connecting and linking your soul with their soul to tap into their energy to be able to give them an accurate reading? You're pulling a card that's just a chance, a probability. I'm going to pull these cards, and whatever comes out, their strength and stuff. Like, what? Because even in playing cards, which I use cartomancy, regular playing cards, right? One card has a meaning, but I let spirit direct me in that reading. I let spirit direct me in the definition of what this card is telling me. So this card comes out, and I'm like, ooh. Normally this card, and y'all who've got rings from me, you can verify this and attest to this. I said, well, normally this card means blah, 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 blah. But for you, I feel like it means this. And you guys confirmed, yes, it does mean that. Now, that's not what that card means in definition of cartomancy. That's not what that means in any type of spiritual book that deals with card reading. That's not what that card means. That card is set up, even the designer of playing cards, they set up these cards to match certain cycles, seasons, days, and hours and all stuff. That's a good shit. And so the idea that I'm able to tap in and I'm able to see from a soul perspective, right? The Holy Spirit telling me that this card normally means pregnancy, but for you, it's telling me that there's a business you're trying to open up, and the business is going to do good. And I'm thinking there's another card too that's come up in readings. And I'm like, well, this usually what this card means, but I don't feel like it pertains to you. Like, girl, there's even cards that mean like water sign stuff. And I'm like, ooh, this only means a water sign woman or a fire sign woman or air sign woman. Why do I feel like this is a fire sign woman? And blah, 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 blah. And even go matters, into this, there's something with the Leo energy and blah, blah, blah. And y'all, this card deals with water. So it's like, and they're like, yeah, let me confirm with you, and I'll let you know, because I don't know what type of energy they are. And they confirm, yeah, you were right. This is this type of energy. And yes, the Leo energy, her husband is a Leo. He's also the professor of blank, 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 blank. And it's like, whoa, y'all, I'll get chills. Because I'm like, this is spirit doing the walking, and I'm just interpreting what spirit is telling me, right? And so either way, y'all, that's what it's come to. Astro manipulation, astroturfing. It is known. Y'all look it up. Lobbyists, people hire organizations. Black Lives Matter. There was a real group of people, but lobbyists were hired to be covert agents. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Something that somebody mentioned, and I think it's so amazing, is somebody was asking, hey, leave her alone. Somebody was asking, Why is it that I never see Asian people in the news for trauma or drama? Why is it I never see the Middle Easterns or the Indians? Why I never see, the Vietnamese, and there's a lot of them here, the Punjabis. We always seeing Hispanic, Black, and every now and then some white folks, drama, messiness, and weird shit that go on. And I was like, it just so happened it be the black people and the Asian and Hispanic, or the Hispanic and the white and the blacks that be doing shit. That's all we see in the news. But then Spirit was all like, news, media, broadcasting, broadband, bandwidth, they don't have to influence the Asians. They don't have to antagonize the Asians with frequencies. These people are cleaning their practices. They're cleaning their food. They're cleaning their diet. They're cleaning their spiritual practices. They meditate. They pray. They cannot be tampered with. Their spirits connect, because in order for you to be able to meditate, y'all, you cannot meditate if you do not have a soul. The whole purpose of meditating is to let the soul do what it has to do. Okay? Lead. That's why you meditate. You cannot meditate because you're soulless. Back then I would be like, damn, people don't know how to meditate. Maybe I need to show people how to meditate. Y'all, I had a one-on-one session with somebody about meditation, and this person still was like, no, I tried. It does not work out. And I'm like, girl. And this before was really like, well, maybe it's because they're soulless. But then we got all these TV shows like Lucifer, and we got all these celebrities coming out and talk about how, there's a center out there that helps them to pick the sex of their baby and gender of their baby and stuff. And I'm just like, there's a system, there's a database that helps that. That's a robot. That's a system that's programmed. That system somehow, some way got information, because when you go to doctor offices and stuff and they perform, abortions and all this good shit, they be logging shit in. They be using technology. They be using systems. They be using motherboards, things with hardware, software to do the work, or to help them with this work, or to log this information. So this have fed back to something. Something has got something, whether it was wirelessly or plugged into something. And now it has helped to influence modern day medical advancement. And of course, we're thinking it's God. We're like, God is giving the doctors ideas. I thought that too. Until I started seeing demonic ass movies and shit, and demonic ass programs about this and that. And I'm like, no, that's not godly. And even going into deeper than that, y'all, deeper than that. We talked about even something that relates to my community, the non-binary movement. It's been around since 1940s. They were using it predominantly in 1980s, 1990s. Why was nobody identifying to that until a confused individual came out in 2016? And rest in peace, this individual ended up passing away. But they kind of were like, helping to fuel it and push the agenda of non-binary. So now you have these people that are saying that's what they are. And I'm like, on the flip side to that, that's just pushing us further and further away from God. Because that's what we refer to God is non-binary. God is not male nor female. Angels are not male nor female. That's why their names are very unisex. Michael, Michael, Uriel, Gabriel. Can we talk about it? It's very unisex in nature. And so now we're taking on this energy. Just so happen the non-binary movement comes out and it gets pushed, and AI is also pushed along right with it. Isn't that amazing? And something else also came across as well that I thought was amazing. I'm like, who's giving these people these ideas though? You don't just wake up and say, I think I'm non-binary. Like, girl, the average person don't even look up terminology for basic words like non-binary. I mean, can we talk about it? So it's like, who gave these people these ideas? So, hey, Google, sometimes I feel like a man. Sometimes I feel like a woman. What am I? And then Google, Siri, Cortana is telling the people, well, you actually, or maybe they're saying, hey, Google, is it possible to be male or female at the same time? And Google said, in a non-binary system, it is possible. So now everybody's non-binary. right? And so that's what I've seen. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. Google, stop, bitch, weirdo. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people influenced by social media that is influenced by propagandas, aka lobbyists, aka people with a nefarious agenda. They're getting your information, and that's why I was using that example too. A lot of you have connections with spiritualists, and they want to talk on the phone with you for hours and hours. I told y'all I don't give a reading to somebody that I know in the ins and out of. If you hit me up and you say, I want to know a reading about a friend of mine, I can give you a reading as a mother, as my sister, as my best friend, as my cousin. I can give a reading to those people. But if I know everything about you, it will be unethical for me and it will be fraudulent of me to give you a reading. Because now, am I reading you off of what I'm getting from you spiritually, or am I reading you from my own personal opinion? And when you're in that moment, you don't know. You can't differentiate. You can't separate. You can't, determine what is your natural things coming through, or what is your energy also coming in and tempering. That's why I said when I read people, I don't know. But a lot of people sit down and talk to you spiritualists and you tell them your stories, and you're on the phone for hours. And my cousin, my brother, my baby dad, my auntie, my this, y'all becoming friends with these spiritualist girls. She gave that reading, it was so accurate. Well, yeah, you're on her Facebook. Yeah, the reading's so accurate. Private sessions with this person. Y'all talked on the phone for 8 hours, and you're discussing everything about your man or your baby daddy. Of course, I give an accurate reading. I don't let you do that. I've cut people off. People have given me, words and hey, and I'm like, please don't tell me that. No. You're feeding me information. Well, just quick story. I just want to give you a back. No, you don't gotta give me a backstory. Baby, let me tap in, ask you a question, and let me tap in and give you an answer, and then we go off of that. If you're giving me the story and I'm giving you the reading, I mean, girl, you're basically giving me the reading. I don't want to be fed information. Okay? I want to give you what Spirit is giving you, honey. If you believe it, if you believe in Spirit. Yeah, if you don't, and you think I'm just putting shit out of my ass and I'm just making shit up, then yeah, feed the story and yeah, and then I'll revert back to you what you told me. But if you want an honest truth, and if you're really wanting Spirit to give you that answer, baby, ask the question and let me tell you what I'm feeling. Don't give me a bad story. Please don't talk about the person. Like, girl, and I haven't talked about this too respectfully. At a certain point as well, we're not going to keep doing work on the same person. We're not going to keep doing work on the same person. If you done work on this person and it did not work, and I'm giving you other options to go around this, and it's still not working. Yeah, we're not going to keep going on and on and on and on. But girl, that's like trying to get blood from a turnip. Hello, that's trying to get blood from a beet. Can we talk about it? So stop feeding these people your information, and let's see how psychic or non-AI they actually are. Can we talk about it? Hello? Stop having private sessions with these people or trying to befriend your spiritualist. And there you go. We'll see how non-psychic, or really, if they really are AI, they really tapped in. Can we talk about it? Or is that a little too deep for y'all? I've actually had clients who was like, I wish I could have you in my back pocket. I would love for you to come to the family and so I'm like, no, baby. Yeah, I'm not going to your baby shower. I'm not going to your wedding. I'm not going. I don't want to get to know you personally. As a spiritual advisor, yeah, I don't want that type. I don't want to, confuse myself and my energy. Respectfully. As a client, you are a client. Now we could be cool, we could be cordial. Definitely, honey, I see you as a family member. Definitely. But I don't want to be private with my clients. I don't want to do it. I don't want to ever cross that line. Right? I don't ever want to, cross that line. Because of course, when I'm coming at you, you're like, "Are you coming at me from a friend or are you coming at me from a spiritual advisor?" Girl, what? What does that mean? I'm coming at you the way I'm coming at you, babe. What does that mean? So that's what it is, y'all. Astroturfing lobbyist, an entity or people, a company, a prominent and or powerful company orchestrating a group of people to fulfill something, an agenda that's going to coerce and or bring about some type of shift. Because I told y'all, spiritual shit has been disappearing off the internet. I told y'all they put a TV show out there in 2017, just so happened, for things released. I think it's called The Explorer or something like that. The Explorer, it's something like that. It was foreign people, they were magical and stuff, and they were talking about things were going to start being erased. And I said, huh. And then I started going to sites that I bookmarked in 2014, 2015, and the site said forbidding access 430, bad link and stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then I started looking at, I remember it says Barbara Hooteridge, and you type in Barbara, that's all I know about Barbara. Like, Barbara's been deleted off the internet. Then you also had, right before the pandemic, you had the Doreen Virtue situation. And then after the pandemic was over, you had the other type of situation, other spirituals. Where I'm like, wait a minute. Are they really seeking God, or they're afraid that they're going to be exposed for their fraudulent ways? See, I'm not afraid of ever showing my hand because, baby, my energy is my energy. What comes to me. I'm authentic in the way that I move, and I'm willing to risk it all. I'm willing to risk it all to help people get to where they need to get to, because it's deeper than just the spiritual stuff. It's deeper than just, I don't really care about earning counts and life account. It's deeper than that, babe. Those are tools. It's deeper than that. You can get to a point where you can sit down and you can close your eyes and you can meditate. You can get to a point where you can close your eyes and you can manifest what is that you're manifesting. Where they got people out here writing a whole script about how they want their day to go, and the day go that way. Hello? And we have influences of TVs and movies right now. You don't think your ancestors, as I was talking about the other day, you don't think your ancestors who had no TVs would be able to go to sleep? Maybe they were passed out. Maybe they were, hot as hell, so they were in their shack, their shed. You don't think they were able to close their eyes? Because they said that everything is African, right? Meditation, magic, it's all African. So they were not able to go to the sheds, go to these places, close their eyes, see these powerful deities rise up from the soil, rise up from the ground, come from out of their body, and to do certain things. You think that they needed candles? You think that they needed herbs and tinctures and stuff to make this happen? And then if they did need all that, why and how were these people locked down and, incapacitated for 350 years? Mind you, the people who looked like them, some of them walked like them and talked like them, were actually different. So these are questions you want to ask yourself. Who is who? What is what? What is real? What is fake? Am I getting spiritual downloads because of programs that were placed on me generationally? Or am I getting spiritual downloads to awaken me to a better me? Am I talking about spiritual downloads are coming through, and yet I'm still with the same man who doesn't like me, beat my ass when he wants to? he's not really a man, he's a little boy. He does foolish things. Am I really doing magic? Am I really tapping into my ancestors? Am I really getting downloads and I'm still stuck at the same job that don't appreciate me? That don't appreciate my hard work? I feel like I should be a supervisor and instead I'm coming in working a regular shift and I do work better than a supervisor. Like these are questions you gotta ask yourself. What type of spell? What type of cycle are you stuck in? Why they gotta have the same storylines to make you feel some type of way? And like I said, studies have shown, and you can look this up yourself, that your DNA. And if you don't know what your DNA is, let's get into it. Let's get into let's get into DNA. What is DNA? DNA is the molecule that carries the genetic instructions for all known living organisms and many viruses. It's like a blueprint or instruction manual for building and operating a body. And it says that DNA contains the information that determines what you look like, how your body functions, what your traits you pass on to your children. And they've been saying since 1996, by the way, for all you awakened, conscious, sober, spiritually awakened people that I've been conscious since 1991. Well, 1996 was the very first article, and we got a screenshot to prove it, where they said that your DNA and RNA can be shifted, shaped, and programmed based on the environment that you're in. And now they're saying, even recently, that your intentions, your environment, the people and places that you hang around and you be at can program your DNA. So a lot of you want to repair your DNA, but you don't understand it. So this is why you're stuck in the same cycle. You don't want to rub elbows with, come on in here, with Asian people. You don't want to touch elbows with. Somebody was saying that they were told, and of course it's all alleged, when they became an immigrant in America, they met these white people, and these white people said, don't hang around with the blacks, don't trust them, they're liars, they're thieves, they're scammers. Oh, better yet, that was the story they said too, when the Asians became refugees in America. They were telling the Asians don't trust the blacks, they're untrustworthy. They were programmed to dislike you. So some of them kept that program, some of them didn't. They don't just like you because they think they're better than you. They don't just like you because of whatever reason. They were told that by other people. It's a part of the agenda. It's a part of the program. It's a part of the spell and the hex. It's a part of the lobbyists. It's a part of the astro-turfing program. That's what it's about. It's to make you feel less than. And then you're like, well, I'm going to, hang around with other people because I needed someone on TV that looked like me to make me feel better about myself. Another broken person? How many healed Black people do you know? How many healed, wholesome, I didn't say Jesus loving, wholesome people that are Black like you that you know, that has no drama? They're not suffering from daddy, mama, baby mama, daddy drama issue. They're not suffering from when I go to a bank, I feel like I get discriminated against because I'm Black. But yet we live in a simulation. But yet you believe in destiny swapping. Like, how many of those do you actually know? So I don't need to just see somebody that looks like me to make me feel myself. I need to be around people who feels like me. I need you to feel like me. I need you to feel like me. I don't need you to look like me because that's how they set y'all up. And I keep telling y'all, I've had visions, I've had memories, I've had a lot of things that have come up through downloads and experiences that it was not just in the 1950s and stuff, when they would segregate Blacks and whites. It wasn't the white folks that were purposely out here seeking out the Black folks to get them together because they were bored. Oh, we're going to go crash some Black people party, a Black person's party. We're going to go crash these color folk gatherings. It was people that looked just like you that sold you out. Just like when it comes down to the witches, Salem witch trials. Can we talk about it? And also going into the lynchings and the beating of certain people. You think that the white people just had it in their brain to just come out and get you? They knew where to found you to find you. These people allegedly don't have an inner voice. They're not spiritual. They're not spiritually conscious. Allegedly, that's what they all say. I don't say that. That's what the Bobby Hemets and stuff. That's what they be talking about. White people are aliens and stuff. So how did they come up with the idea to pass laws and stuff to keep you trapped? Who gave them these ideas? You had people that looked just like you. I want you to understand how deep that is. You had people that looked just like you because they programmed you. They had you thinking that we're only safe around each other. We can't trust no white man. We can't trust no white woman. We're safe around each other. And just so happened, a lot of you in modern day and age, and even back in the day, have lost relatives by other people that look like them. In modern day times, some of you have had your children taken away by people who look just like you. In modern day, some of you have had your men taken away from people who look just like you. I need people to wake up. I need people to wake up. It's far more deeper. This is why they want to keep you drunk. They want to keep you high. Oh, it's fun to get high. Oh, get high, y'all. It's okay to get high. They found out that smoking fucks with your vascular system. We already knew it fucks up your nervous system. We already knew that. We already knew that, baby. We already knew that it fucks up your nervous system. But have y'all found out recently that they found out that it deals with the vascular system? It fucks up the vascular system. Do you know how important your vascular system is to your ever existence right now? Your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your mental bodies. Do you know that the heart is considered the vascular system? Is considered the informational channel? Do you know that this is where your sense of safety and being afraid resides? Do you know that this is where you're able to feel other people's energy? Y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up. Anybody who has ever, and I mean this, and I'm done. Anybody who has ever led me to the ledge to jump off, you're an enemy. I deemed that when I was 16 years old. People who had me thinking that they wanted what was best for me, and I'm only here to help you, and this for you, baby. When I tell you, baby, I don't fuck with them. And they're having a whole bunch of karma. As a side note, when I was a teenager, I used to be quiet. I was quiet. I was reserved. I mind my business. I was weird. I would dye my hair purple, orange, yellow. Bitch, I would wear polka dots and stripes. I'm still kind of like that girl. I don't really care for matching and all that, girl. I'll just throw a wig on. I don't care about any of that, girl. Press and go. The curls are dropping. I don't care about that, girl. If you like me, you like me. You don't like me, I don't give a fuck, girl. Hello? I'm not here to impress you. I'm comfortable in my skin, and that's all that matters. And so, either way, when I was a teenager, even family members used to fuck with me. I had older cousins. I had older aunties, like older uncles, not aunties. Older uncles. I had older cousins that would fuck with me. And one of the cousins who fucked with me, he actually ended up being a fuck the best person, which I'm not going to get into that, right? But this other one in particular, an uncle, right? This motherfucker was fucking diabolical. And I don't fuck with this person, this man at all. I have not seen this uncle or like spoke to this uncle personally since I was like 17 years old. Everybody I know, my mom, they always talk about, oh yeah, I was at, Uncle bling, bling, bling. And I'm like, oh, okay, I keep it pushing. Baby, this motherfucker used to pick on me and, is your hair purple? Oh, you need some pussy. You look feminine. You're feminine. You need, girl, just weird shit. I'm just like, what the hell? Who's talking to a kid like this? And so what the straw that broke the camel's back is we went camping, y'all, and this water was cold as fuck. And of course, he made it seem like I was safe. So he was, had us all get on his boat, went to the island. And y'all, when we got on top of this island, he got back in the boat and he left, right? And he said, y'all are stranded here. Y'all. I was like, oh my God. Now, this is the crazy thing about it, y'all. So this uncle does have older kids. And I know I wasn't fucked up. I was like, girl, like, I know he left back on the boat and went back to the land. And we're stuck on this island. And the only way to get back, we have to swim back. And then he came back and threw me in the water. No, bitch. He left. He came back. Threw me in the water because I did not want to go. I was like, no, I'm going back on the boat. This motherfucker threw me in the water. Y'all, I almost drowned. I almost fucking drowned, y'all. That water was cold. I felt my legs cramped up. If it wasn't for my cousin, I have another cousin who's a Gemini. Shout out to this cousin. We're close. We're very close. He's an A Gemini. He's about, I think, like 9 years older than me, though. But he helped me. I piggybacked on his back all the way to that land. And y'all, I remember telling my mom, and my mom was like, yeah, you stay here with me and blah, blah, blah. And I did. But baby, I didn't fuck with that uncle again because I felt like, baby, first and foremost, I could have drowned. I would have been one dead motherfucker if I would have drowned, bitch. And you want to get the fuck because you would have went back home to your fucking kids. And fast forwarding, y'all, this motherfucker lineage is fucked up right now. His lineage is fucked up right now. And that's all I'm going to say. See, you got to be careful how you treat others, especially on blood, because bitch, it come back to you. Baby, especially where it says, do not touch my anointed ones, bitch. I was born different for a reason. And that's what people got to understand. Everything about me is magical. Everything about me is spiritual. And it's not a narcissistic thing, y'all. If you're into astrology, you're into numerology, you're into spiritual, you're into whether you're Islamic, Muslim, anything, baby, everything about me, whether it's condemned or not, it speaks to you as an enlightened one, as one who has the recipe. And so, girl, yeah, you fucked me over. Like I said, you led me to the edge to drown. Baby, you're cursed. And your whole lineage will be cursed. And I mean that. And it's not me wishing that onto people, but it's saying like, girl, I've always wanted the best for people. I've always wanted to feel safe and offer people a safe space. And people see that, they saw that, and they want to say, oh, this motherfucker's soft. Let's get this motherfucker together. Well, yeah, God is getting you together, baby. Our ancestors get your motherfucking ass together. And I'm kind of rejoicing, low-key. I mind my business, but I get little hints of it. And oh, it's unfortunate this little baby had to get his intestines worked on because there was a medical emergency. Huh. Amazing. And it just happened, right? So how old was this little boy? About 4 years old. Well, I remember about 4 years old when his grandfather used to be like, oh, you might need to take this motherfucker to go play some sports or something because this motherfucker is as soft as fuck. What? Bitch, I was around people playing sports. I ran track and shit. I wasn't a fan of, and I love men. I was not a fan of men fondling me to tackle me from the motherfucking ball. I wasn't a fan of men fondling me and rubbing on me and shit to get a ball out of my motherfucking hand. That didn't excite me, babe. And like I said, I love men, clearly. I'm attracted to men. That wasn't my tea. Even in high school, I cut PE. I felt PE until half of my sophomore year because I did not want to use the dressing room, and it would not let me go to my own private dressing room. I felt so uncomfortable being around other boys naked, even growing up around family members. I didn't want to get dressed around the boys, and I definitely want to get dressed around the girls. I did not feel comfortable with boys seeing me or me seeing boys. Bitch, that was just in me. And I got put on punishment for that. I got chastised. I got disciplined for that. So trust when I tell you, bitch, this is who I am. And nothing has changed. I've dated girls. I had a girlfriend when I was in high school. So baby, this is who I am. And I'm not sexually attracted to women. So this is who I am. This is who I've always been. My story is not trauma that induced me to be this way. And so that's where it comes from. And that's where I'm going with that. Anybody that has led you to the edge to jump off, anybody who took you to the deepest end of the water, metaphorically speaking, and forced you to swim without a life jacket, bitch, are you kidding me? Cut them off. Cut them off, honey. Listen, you're not gonna elevate. You're not gonna come. You're not gonna come into your higher self. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Let them be great. Let them be great. Like I said, you told me I always wanted what was best for you. I was just trying to help you. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't, honey. You wasn't there. You wasn't there to make sure I was good. Girl, going into, my distance, like I said, there was just a lot, girl. And of course, I'm victorious over all my situations. But, baby, you can't trust people who are leading you down a straight path. People are telling you it's okay to smoke and drink. And it's okay. You'll be good. Oh, yeah, you can drink all the liquor you want, y'all. It's okay. When they said that there was more people having liver issues during the COVID than people actually getting the COVID. More people were dying from liver drug-related illnesses than actual COVID itself. You're not going to tell me, girl, that get high. You can escape this, y'all. Get high. You're gonna become in tune when you're high, man. That just sounds demonic. That sounds demonic. Why do I need to numb who I am to elevate? There's a reason why God gave me a consciousness. There's a reason why the creator who created me, and I can't say created us, because I really believe that everybody doesn't have a soul. I really do feel that. And then I changed my mind. I used to think I was crazy thinking that. But things have really been showing me like, girl, oh no, girl, we're going to definitely live with each other. We're definitely going to live, because girl, it is what it is. I'll go crazy trying to, no, let me stay away from this person. It's not even a real human. No, ma'am. But I do know that I'm only going to vibe with other humans. I do know that. There may be other programs down the line, thanks to ChatGPT, thanks to our other artificial intelligence, people feeding. Since there might be other programs and people down the line that may even get a little closer, because they'll be able to give off the fake sense of I'm real too, I'm authentic too. Girl, we live in a day and age where people say they real and they gotta drink or smoke in order to cope with reality. Where's that real at? A lot of people say they're real and they can't even sleep at night. Where is that real? Oh, well, you might say that you're real, but you're not real. Your titties are fake. You got a lot going on, and it's like, what? But the body has nothing to do with being real or not. What is my intentions behind everything? What is the soul doing? What is the soul doing? Am I vibrating high or am I vibrating low? And I don't got to get high to vibrate high. That's altered. That's fake. That's AI. That's artificial stimulation. That's ASTI. Come on in here. Hello? 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 Is that a little too deep? Huh? Hello? Am I connecting? Or the dots are not connecting? I like to say I'm always willing to stand corrected. I'm always willing to stand in my opinion alone as well. Like I said, very sober, very sane, very grounded. I take pride in that, being grounded, allowing my time to heal, to rest, to relax, to reconnect to the earth. I get my fruits and vegetables. Yeah, baby. I got my crystals. I got my spirits. Baby. Very much that girl. I haven't lost it. I'm not going to lose it. Okay? Okay? And that's it. So, that's pretty much it, honey, with that. Come on there, King Sheba. How yours? Oh, I'm by a fan. Why? You can hear it? Oh, Jay, you can hear it, baby. Oh, Jay, you can hear it. It was like blow, but blow. It's like blow, blow, blow. Can you still hear it, Jay? You're like, oh, this is ASMR. It's actually brainwashing. It is brainwashing. You said it. It's brainwashing. It's brainwashing. And you start becoming what these people, like these people will have you thinking that that's their life. Like someone was asking, how does these mukbang people, how do they be eating all this shit and never gain weight? And of course, you got one American who did, won't say no names, fuck it, Nick Avocado. He started doing mukbangs. This motherfucker gained all the weight he can. But I'm like, well, it's because, girl, I'm pretty sure these people are eating all that shit and then going to the bathroom and, I'm pretty sure. Or was drinking a laxative or something to let all that shit come out. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure, babe. I'm pretty sure. Girl, people would do fake content to get you to be like them, and that's not their lives, just like celebrities. Celebrities will have you thinking that this is the life we live. It's so fun being rich and famous. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And then when the dark shit hit, oh yeah, I got robbed in Paris for my gold chain. Oh girl, like girl, duh. Duh. I mean, think about it. Duh, you did. And I don't feel sorry for you. It's like you don't have no common sense. You're known. Everyone knows you. You're telling people, I'm over here in Paris. I'm over here. You see, I'm on the corner of Notting Hill and Capitol. Girl, what? Where are you at? Girl, yeah, you're going to get got. That's how that works. Yes. Y'all gotta listen. But that's an example of being brainwashed. And now y'all want to be like them, and now y'all get got. I want to be just like Kylie Jenner. I want to look just like Kylie. I want to do exactly what Kim Kardashian is doing. I was looking up a video and there was a lady on TikTok and she took a coffee. She took some heavy whipping cream. She added some strawberries. She shook up some marbles. She took some boba. She stirred it up and it came out. I was like, oh, I got to try that. And it was so fucking good. And coming to find out, girl, a couple of months down the line, you're making that, you're so addicted. Now all of a sudden you're in the hospital for clogged arteries and shit. They got to flush out your fucking arteries. Hello? You got to get dye pumped into your blood so they can see how clogged your arteries, because now you're having dizzy spells, you're fainting and shit. You can't breathe. You're rolled out. Oh my God, what's going on? Hello? I mean, hello? It's time for people to wake up. I need my people to wake up. I need my people to come back home. I need my people to come back home. Wake up. Wake up. Stop letting these broken people teach you. Wake up. Stop letting people who would never act like they can. Wake up. But that would go back into tribal mindsets of the Aboriginals. Kind of. I mean, I'm sure the leaders and the chiefs, they elevated these individuals. And unfortunately, people, there's some mischievous things that happen there too. That's why the colonizers were able to conquer, people and stuff. I mean, if you really think about it, you think these people came into Africa, these people came into the Americas, they came into native tribes and stuff. Yeah, they probably had guns, but during that time, the guns were not amazing guns. They were like boom, boom, pow, probably was backfiring them and shit. You have people that have machetes and arrows. They blend in with the trees. They were able to hide in the land. These people didn't know anything about any of that. They were getting these people drunk, these indigenous people drunk, because they never had alcohol. So they were sensitive to, they had wine, but they didn't have shit like moonshine and shit. Hello? They didn't have that type of shit. So they were fucking these people up. And that's how they conquered. That's how they conquered. They were fucking them up. That's how they conquered. That's how they conquered, hon. So I see that the mindset of Aboriginals, but this is why even going in school, they said, have your own mind. Stop being a follower, be a leader. We used to get in trouble when we were kids. And my mom would always say that. Are you a follower or a leader? I'm a leader. Well, then why the hell did you do that and I told you not to do that? Or why the hell did you follow after blah, 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 do, 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 do? That's when I started thinking for myself. Can we talk about it? It's a little too deep. Honey, I didn't have to see nobody that looked like me to do shit like me because I'm me. Can't nobody do anything like me. I didn't need motivation from another trans or gay youth. Hello? To make me know who I am and to stand in my truth. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? I didn't need that. To be myself, to be drug free, alcohol free, criminal free. Hello? Hello? Can we talk about it? What's that little too deep? That's what it comes down to. Are you a leader or are you a follower? I was born to lead. I was born to teach. And a great teacher is a great listener. I learn from those who I teach, and I teach those that I learn from. Hello? So I definitely can and will. Can we talk about it? I'm not just here because I think it's cute. Oh, this is a fun way to make some quick money. Oh, yeah. Yeah, popping a date is a quick way to make money, too. And I run it the way I run it because, I can see you one time and that's it. There's, a lot of people here, 1 million plus people here. Baby, listen, I can see you one time, be done with it. Girl, you get over here and pay for my session. Listen, I have do not I want to do. Hello? And baby, it be paid. But that's not the avenue. That's not the area. That's not the arena that I want to reign in. Hello? Let's talk about it. Okay. Come on, Zaina. Hello, Zaina Bonnie. How you doing, Zaina? Hope you're well, Zaina. Good seeing you. Yes, agreed. Pot dispensers is the worst thing. More anxiety, pressure there. Yes, I'm Dee Dee. And they're everywhere. The crazy thing about it is when the porn shots popped up, let me tell you how crazy this is. Let's talk about it. The porn shops would pop up and the strip clubs would pop up and people would protest this shit. Even when the strip clubs and the porn shops and stores were at the edge of the city, they were still, oh, it can't be there. The school bus go by there. People were so concerned about that, right? But pot dispensaries, vape shops are on every fucking corner, and some of them are even by places that kids frequent. Where's the protest at? Where's the outrage at? Where's the same mothers and daughters of the mothers that were complaining about the porn stops and all that shit? Girl, this would have saved your husband from cheating on you. Divorce rates wouldn't have been so high if y'all allowed porn to be where it's at. Hello? If you allowed your husband to watch porn, you wouldn't have to worry about your man cheating on you. But because y'all got rid of the porn stuff, he started cheating. Now, why are y'all not processing the pot chops and shit? Because your kids are going to be brain dead. When they get to be 30 years old, they're going to be like some of these bitches have been smoking weed since they were teenagers. Just out of it, honey. Oh, I know I got gifts. I know I got talent. I could cast a spell. Yeah, I did a spell on my baby daddy and it worked. How you know? We need proof. Can you call him? And he tell you, yeah, babe, at that during that time, something weird was going on. I don't know what was going on. Hello? Can we get the real background story? Like, this is what it comes down to. Dispensary. And there said that marijuana also makes you anxiety, makes you depressed, and also it amplifies energy. It amplifies energy. And that's why I think a lot of people get high and they say it makes them smarter. I think those are psychotic people. I think they're psychotic and they have this superhuman thing. So they're like, oh, when I'm on it, I'm intelligent. No, you're dumb. Honey, I say that respectfully. You had to have a chemical alteration to become a smart person. Make that make sense. But you're coming for the transgender who had surgery to fulfill what is it they're fulfilling, right? So what would you call somebody who has to get high to be smart? That doesn't make sense. Somebody who has to get high or drunk in order to tap into spirit. Are you really a spiritualist? Or you want to be? Hello? Are you really tapped in? Huh? Because you don't got to get high to tap in. Oh, you heard these stories about back of the day, they would smoke some herbs and get into a trance and all that. Girl, those are stories that they told y'all. Those are stories that they tell y'all. I'm willing to break down, y'all, and I'm being honest with you. A lot of these historical figures that they've been talking about were all programs and fake stories to have you believing in something, having you feel like you are less than. Like, I won't even get into it, but we can get into the Marie Laveau's on down. I did some investigation. I did some spiritual meditation. I got touched on in, and I found out a lot over the past almost 10 years. You've been fooled. So you're thinking I have guidance, my intuition is telling me. So your intuition then tell you that the Salem witch trials, those that were murdered and slain, that were not real witches. Some of them were spies. Some of them were double agents. Some of them, they came into the villages. Let's talk about it right now. Witch hunters are very real. In this modern day life, it's a little different now. Can we talk about it? You've seen in some movies where the person's like, oh, these are gifted people. But let's get into it very quickly, shortly, politely. You don't think that these people had magical intuitions? They were like, ooh, there's some energy up in here. I'm feeling something, and it ain't the Holy Ghost. There's some energy here, and we got to get our hands on this energy. You don't think they were deploying people to connect with the spiritual in tune people, or the people that they thought were spiritually in tune, to then try to practice, and then all of a sudden they're pretending to be witches? Because I feel like some of them were covering up for other people. I feel like some of them were sacrificial energies. I do not feel like the witches that were killed, that were actual witches. I don't feel that. Because if you're a witch and you got murdered like that, girl, are you really a witch? You really have power? Like I said, it has to make sense to me. Why am I doing rituals and incantations for protection if the witches during a Salem witch trial could not protect themselves from the witch hunt that was taking place? Why would I be connected with those same energies? Hello? 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 If the people who were enslaved were practicing the same type of artistic things that I'm practicing and believing in, they're worshiping the same orishas, deities, energies that I was, and these deities, these energies couldn't free them for 350 years. And I told y'all it was longer than that. I say 1,500 years, because I feel like a lot of stories were rewritten. I think a lot of stories are revamped. I think there was a switch up. I think Love Country kind of tell y'all the story of this stuff too, throughout the history, what was done. But why would I be working with that energy if it kept these people enslaved for 350 years? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Why would I be spending my 100 years, my 195 years, my 120 years, my 85 years, my 65 years, however long we live averagely on this planet? Why would I spend those years venerating and tapping into the energies that did not free my ancestors, ultimately? And then you're telling me it took 350 years of practicing this stuff to actually make it work, to free? And we have many historical stories from the Rachis on down. The Rachis are over 10,000 years ago, where there was a change of plan. And also, let's go into artificial, not artificial, archangels. You don't think that to protect a certain type of people that are chosen by the Most High to lead other people into a higher state of consciousness, you don't think that an angel would have manifested outside of so-called Harriet Tubman, would have manifested to free these people? You don't think something metaphysical would happen? Remember the Boba plague, the Black plague? A magical plague didn't plague the South and killed everybody except for the Black folks? I mean, I mean, like I said, these are real questions. It's a little hard to ask, but these are real questions that people like me want to know. I know the answer, but these are questions where I'm like, everybody that's not asking these questions. It has to make sense, babe. It's not making sense at all. And then, oh, this is a free man magic. This is what the ancestors used. Oh, hoodoo was created by the African Americans in the South that was feeling like they were oppressed. And I'm like, well, the weirdest thing about it is High John Root, High John the Conqueror, is one of the main energies that these Black folks would venerate. And I find it kind of odd that the Europeans, whether they're Spanish, Portuguese, or London British, Scotland, whatever, however, whatever, Welsh, hey, your business, Norwegian, Norse, Nordic, hey, like I said, that's not the debate. But I just find it odd that they also have a similar energy. Huh. And he was a king. And he was a conquistador. And they actually have him depicted two different ways. They have him depicted as a conquistador and they have him depicted as a king, Ray. So I'm like, we have to really ask ourselves, what is actually our magic and what was given to us? And of course, I'm saying everybody. Everybody. Voodoo, hoodoo, Santeria, Haitian voodoo, Dominican voodoo. You gotta ask yourself, what is your magic? What is truly yours? The ancestors, they had a woman on Facebook or something, because that's where I saw the videos. I haven't seen it in a while. But I'm looking at this person. I'm like, this person's not mentally well at all. And I'm like, there's a spiritual attachment on this person, more than just one. There's a lot of entities coming through them. And this person was acting like they were speaking in tongue. And people were just like, oh, this is so interesting. Oh my God, she's channeling the ancestors. Oh, the ancestors are coming through to her. And I'm just looking, but why is she impoverished? Why is she having a hard time in this life? Why is she having a lot of things going on with her if she's channeling this energy? And why is her messages not really elevating the whole community? And that's when it dawned on me, where I said, she's a part of the agenda. She's a part of the agenda. It's a mental breakdown, spiritual attachments. She's somehow, some way got somebody to say, hey, you could blank, blank, blank. And of course, the lady's like, I've never spoke this language before. I didn't know this was a language in Africa. I'm just speaking. Girl, that would be so fucking amazing that you're sitting here speaking a language that you've never spoken before. It just pop up in your dialogue, in your vernacular. And yet you're unable to go to a bank and to get a check. You're unable to get a loan. You're unable to have a flow of money and stuff to come in. It's amazing to me, and people fall for it. Oh, it's real. I believe it. Like, what? Like, what planet, what timeline, what worlds are, I should say, what world am I living in? Because I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense to me. Believe half what you see and none of what you hear. And I believe that. I believe 25% of what I see. I really be like, Spirit, give me the spirit of discernment. Spirit, let me see this. Spirit, I need to know this. Spirit, let me tap in, because this doesn't seem right. Something ain't making sense to me. I know that, 1 + 1 is 2, but they're trying to convince me that 2 can also be 5 sometimes. How is this possible, Spirit? Anyway, some very deep stuff, honey. Very deep stuff, honey. Echo, although there's an echo. Well, the fan should be an echo, though. The fan is actually behind me, So I don't know what's going on. Or they're taking a Ozempic. See? And that's another thing too. Girl, I'm just so happy that my people are still out there. I'm just so happy that my people, my spiritual tribe is still out there. I went to one of my favorite places 2 days ago. And y'all, it was hot as hell. It's been hot as hell in California, y'all. And it's starting to cool off a little bit, but we know it's coming again because, summer is going to start next week. But I'm talking to this lady. She's like, I haven't seen you in a while. And I was like, I know. And I was like, you're looking good. She used to like walk with a limp and stuff. She was very, not obese, but she used to walk with a limp and all that. And she was like, yeah, my dog died, in October of last year. And it just had me thinking, my dog was 19 years old. And I felt like when he died, a piece of me died. And, we were just talking, y'all. And she's like, I've just been staying positive and I feel like my life has elevated. And although that may sound bad, I was like, no, it doesn't. It sounds good. I hear what you're saying. And she was saying that she started to, before the passing of her dog, she would hang with certain people. She would do certain things. And these things, these practices and these behaviors, yes, it kept her employed, but it kept her sick. It kept her emotionally unbalanced. She was eating bad. She was doing bad stuff. Her behavior was wrong. She would eat before bed and also, all this stuff. She's an older woman. She said when her dog passed away, things came to her and she had a realization that life is really what you make it. And y'all, this lady is like 61 or 62 years old. So she had her aha moment at 61 or 62 years old. And she said, I realized that life is really what you make it. And so I started speaking differently with people. I started surrounding myself with certain people. I started reading different books. I started watching different TV shows. I started connecting with people that was living the way I wanted to live. And this is how I was able to change my life. And y'all, I was gagging because I was thinking like this lady is on Ozempic and stuff. And she was like, a lot of people don't know that there's layers to this. And we talk about a lot of stuff, y'all, in line. I'm in checkout, y'all, and we're talking. And she's like, a lot of people don't know there's layers to this. But one of the things is your health is what you put in your mouth. And I said, ooh, honey, and I called her mama. I was like, mama, you better preach. Because I'm like, baby, people it's about behavior. And of course, I could throw myself in and talk about me. I used to eat the bad shit and all this shit too until I had that health scare and they were traumatizing me with certain things. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. No, well, no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. I started educating myself as well on how foods affect us and how it starts with the behavior. So it's not about the diet you're on. It's not about whether you're on a Ozempic or not, or any type of diet pills. If you get the behavior down, you will get your weight down. You will get your health in order. And even now, y'all, I kind of got off of it because I was like, oh, I don't have to, I can still eat what I want, girl, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I gained that weight. I didn't gain all of it back, but I gained it. And now, I'm still losing back how it was. I want to stop at the weight that I was last year. And I'll be there shortly. I'll be there probably for sure before August. But either way, I'm like, y'all, it was the behavior. I was like, oh, I don't really care. Oh, well, I can do what I want to do, girl. It's good, whatever. And there you go. My behavior got off a track. And so the Ozempic and stuff is kind of sad because I'm seeing these people and I'm like, oh, honey, like you could get all that stuff under control through diet. Like you get all that shit under control through eating right. And then, of course, even going into one of the girls that were on Ozempic, Miss Thing was over here chowing down like, what was it? It was a big ass piece of like strawberry pie with ice cream or something on top. And I'm like, girl, this is why you on Ozempic now. This is why you popping 20 pills right now. Mama sitting here, oh, I don't give a damn, y'all, about eating plant-based or vegetarian. We gonna all die one day. Okay. So why are you on Ozempic then? You let your body do what's gonna do then, babe. If you don't give a fuck. Hello? Because there's a lot that you can change with what you're doing, even going into, anyway, there's a lot with a lot, y'all. It'd be amazing to me where I'm like, girl, you got to get the behavior down. Once the behavior changes, you're going to have your weight loss. You don't need that extra tea to lose your weight. Get your behavior together. Okay. They need gunpowder with muskets. There you go. You said it. You said it. They put people against each other via trickery. They did. And they still do it. They still do it. They got into, that was the real magic. That was the real voodoo and hoodoo to get black people in that time to go against black people. That was real. That was real voodoo and hoodoo. And you out there, well, how did they use our magic against us? Because it's their magic. That's why. That's how. It's theirs. It's not yours. You're not conquering shit with that magic. They're conquering shit with that magic. Clearly, oh, they're using our magic against us. Oh my God, I can't believe white people use their magic against us. Girl, are they winning or are they not winning? And some of you're getting your hands on the magic and you're still not winning. Hello? You're still not winning. You're still not winning. So let's get an understanding. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Are you not tired of the same shit over and over and it's not going nowhere? Like I said, take a minute and just really step back and really just ask yourself, where did all these ideas and stories come from? Like I said, I can show y'all with the story about what I heard about Marie Laveau. Hello? I can go down the rabbit hole about, based on my research and my spiritual interpretation about Marie Laveau. I can get into that and why allegedly the French Quarters is an energy portal. We could go down a very deep rabbit hole. It will piss a lot of people off. It will piss a lot of people off. Because if you've done your research, you will know the truth about the truth about the truth. And so you ask yourself, where do these stories come from? Where do these ideas come from? Whose idea is it to share with us? Oh, you're good, but you're only as good as this because of this, this, and that. It's some very deep shit, y'all. I mean, girl, there was even certain people were trying to say, I remember like in the 2000s and stuff, oh, they're coming in, they're trying to blame, 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 blame. And I'm just like, that doesn't make sense to me though. So you mean to tell me these people orchestrated that you were going to be in the projects and you were going to meet a fellow man and that they were going to intentionally have this man, mind you, this wasn't everybody's story. They was going to have this man to become a drug dealer or a pimp to intentionally put him behind bars, to intentionally make you a single parent. Like, we got to really step back. We got to really think about some tea and why the stories are still the same stories, even though things have changed. Even though stories have changed, even though frequencies have changed, even though ideas have changed, why are we still having the same storyline? Why do we keep repeating the same storyline? Even though there's new opportunities, there's new ideas, there's new spaces, new channels, the neurons, the transmitters, there's always new things being created. But yet we keep regurgitating, we keep staying over and over, reverbing back to each other the same stories. It didn't help then, it's not helping now. So what's going to change? That's it. That's like this guy I knew in passing who said he loves to get spells while high. Oh, there's a lot of people on here that have said that, and I'm like, well, this is probably why you're not really successful. This is probably why you're not really happy. You became a millionaire off of selling rituals and caseworks to people. But what's going on with people? Because I always said this: if there's 5 million spiritualists, and this is why they have to cloud their airways. I was talking about this even the other day about the group ABBA. Right? Brandy had a song called "Should I Stay or Should I Go" back in the day, and I love that song. By the way, I love Brandy, honey. By the way, I love Brandy, honey. I'm a diehard Brandy fan, y'all. I love me some Brandy Norwood, honey. Hello. And so either way, Brandy was talking about how it's hard for even the veterans to make music. Like they have to wait in line for debut because there's so many people clouding the airways, y'all. And I like to think about it. It was true because I knew people who paid for radio play. I knew people who paid for things. I knew people who did a lot of stuff who knew people, and that's how they got played. And I know some people who made it the hard way, and then the hard way people suffered, and the machine made people made it. And so you're going into the spiritual stuff, and I'm like, it's the same thing for this industry. People have clouded the airways. People have clouded the airways, created confusion, disrupted the frequency of people awakening, and it keeps people in the cycle. People stayed in the cycle. And then you're sitting there saying, I'm looking for a way out. I'm looking to rise up. I'm looking to, and everything you did was trendy. And that's what it's come to. People are clouding the airways. People are clouding the airways, and they're trying to do whatever said that they're doing. And of course, it's working because everybody has so much power, but yet right in front of you, your rights, this shit is being stripped right away. It's being stripped right from underneath you. And those are those of you who are still under the mundane laws and rules. Hello? Because I told somebody about something, and they're like, no, it's applying for everybody. No, I told you I could show you the videos of people talking about it. I was like, honey, that doesn't apply to me. No, it doesn't. I said, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I said, no, it doesn't. No, and I said, okay, well, let me show you. And then mysteriously, when it came time for me to get my shit together, mysteriously, oh, by the way, they banned it. They blocked it. So that didn't stay permanently. I knew that already, though. Babe. And I don't got to be spiritually tapped in to tap in to know that. I know. I'm in tuned. I can tap in. I'm a universal energy. I'm a universal frequency. Baby, I'm not dominated. I'm non-dominational. Baby, I'm spiritual. Can we talk about it? And so I know when something is going to stick, and I know when it's not. I know when something's going to affect, and I know when it's not. Like I said, when you are an anointed one, the mundane laws does not apply to you. So even if it come down to where they want to try to pass it up and say, no, we're going to stop this and that. Okay, baby, you can play with that if you want to. That's not going to be my story. The rest of you girls going to be trying to figure out how, when, and where. Baby, I don't have to worry about that. I know what I know. See, I'm a homegrown girl. Hello? Okay, I'm a trained girl. I'm not a programmed girl. Hello? I'm homegrown. This is me. This is in me. And so I know the rules. I learned how things work even before. Girl, it's the same rules, the same principles. It's the same structure. The government construct does not change. The rules that you think are new has always been a part, or they've always been a slot. They just called it something different. So I've always asked questions like, how's that possible? And this is not illegal. And if I do this, it's not going to, no, it's not. It can't, because according to penal code, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I got into all that. So it's like, no, that's not going to change. There's no way. Now they can stop. They can say, hey, we're going to block it. We're going to restrict it. They can't say fully, we're going to stop it. They can say, well, yeah, if we're going to allow this to happen, then, you got to go through A, B, C, D, F, G. I already went through all that. And they have people that were telling stories. I told y'all, I know a girl who alleged that she went through some shit, and girl, I'm like, girl, after 10 years, girl, it's over with. It's done with. So if you're, 36 years old and you did this at 18, girl, you're out of the loop. But no, you're not. You didn't have this when you were 18 years old. You barely completed this in 2015, 2016. So you're within that 10-year mark, and that's why it fucked you up. And well, how would you know that? Did anybody tell you something? No, it's common sense. That's why they make you renew registrations and license and all that. Why do you think they make you do that? Girl, if that's the case, oh, well, it's to make money off you. The hell? Girl, they're making money off you other ways, honey. Hello? Girl, they know what they're doing. Girl, they have to keep tabs on you to refresh you, to keep on you. It's 5 to 10 years. After that, girl, there's a whole new system. Hello? So, anyway, a lot of them say they do spells while high. A Wiccan boy, mind you, right? A Wiccan, you said it. Smallpox blankets was nasty work. Zaina. Oh my God. Zaina. Oh my God. So which storyline was the real one? On what? On what storyline? King of Sheba. I think learning your real magic goes into learning what your real lineage line is, as well as tapping into your soul sign. Mystic, I know Gemini's Mercury, but you are a part of the Gemini constellation. You said it. It definitely is. You said it. And we know that with communication. Of course, going even to Gemini, you have Mercury, you have Mercurian, you have Quicksilver. You look up what these energies are, these elements, these precious metals. You can kind of tell the characteristics of what a Gemini is and how Geminis move. Even going into the energies that's behind them. It's not a coincidence that Archangel Raphael is assigned to Geminis. Do you know all of Raphael's abilities? People sit here and say, well, I'm a teacher because I'm a mother. But you were born under the stars that influenced the father figure. You lacked a lot of father characteristics. That's why all of this have happened. You see how that works? Or maybe going into your undersign where you're meant to nourish and help heal other people and other people's kids, not your own. So you're like, damn, I wonder why I never had kids. That's not how that works. I can go into Pisces. It's something that comes to mind. Pisces either have a lot of kids or Pisces are not able to have kids. That sign is very maternal, very nourishing. And the crazy thing about it is Pisces usually lack those influences. So they either have a mother, issues with their mother, or they're going to have issues with like a grandmother. And that's going to be with every Pisces. Every Pisces. There's going to be an issue with maternal energy. And that's how that comes out. So it's like you are influenced by the stars that you're born under and the energies that you're born under. There's no way around it. Oh, people, I don't really believe in astrology because everybody can't have the same personality. Everybody doesn't. There's different sides to the number one. The number one doesn't have one side. Can we talk about it? Can you draw the number one on a piece of paper? Honey? Okay. Can you tell me how many sides the number one has? Yeah. The number one has multiple sides. So yeah, everyone is not the same. Hello? There's 5 sides to the number one. There's multiple sides to the number one because if you get into it, the one has multiple, it has more than 5 sides. But that's how that works. So no, not all Geminis are cut the same, but the bottom line is there's a lot of major characteristics. So, though let's say a good example, Geminis are good at communicating. They're witty, they're great storytellers. The flip side says a lot of people are negative storytellers, which means they lie. Okay? They're liars. They make up shit. That makes them a trickery spirit. They make up shit. They can't back up anything that they say. I tell you, everything I say, I always can back it up. The good side is that you storytell. That's the positive side. So like I said, there's always a good and bad. So no, not every Gemini is the same, but that Gemini is going to either amplify or diminish the good quality and the bad quality. And the qualities too. Maybe they don't have all the qualities, but they have the majority. Can we talk about it? Okay. Echo and narcissist. Come on in here. I know that's right. Lasting results takes discipline and consistency. You said it. Lasting results takes discipline and consistency because that deals with your behavior. Your behavior is a part of your character. A lot of people are taking Ozempic and they're abusing Ozempic. I mean, let's get into it. They're abusing Ozempic. How are you not able to? And let's just say this quickly. If you can manage your weight without Ozempic, how can you manage your weight with Ozempic? Can we talk about it? If you could manage your weight with Ozempic, how are you going to manage your weight? Or if you can manage your weight without it, how are you going to manage your weight with it? Because it was the behavior. It wasn't whether you were on Ozempic or not. It's your behavior. Yes, I think like even with the stomach surgery and stuff, it'll make you throw up if you overeat and stuff. But it's like that's a behavior thing. If you could train yourself to not eat as much, you could do that without getting a stomach surgery. If you could train yourself to eat certain food, with the Ozempic, I can't really have that because it's gonna make me nauseous and it's gonna give me that. Okay, girl. I mean, it should be doing that anyway, honey. Hello. Okay. Yet the kind of magic comes at a price, which you can see how. Look at the state of the nation. You said it. But what type of magic is this? What type of magic is this? What kind of magic is this, Jay? We want to know. I'm still on when you said Marie Laveau wish she was Oshun. I mean, am I the only one that heard the real story behind Marie Laveau? I said it. I will continue to say it. They play games with black people in America because they know that black people in America are easily to be played with. Annabelle looks like the Raggedy Ann doll. The real Annabelle should look like a Raggedy Ann doll. They try to say that the Annabelle doll has a slave inside of it. Every black TikTok, every black YouTuber, they're saying Annabelle went to the South and the plantation burnt down, y'all, and blah, blah, blah. And Annabelle went missing. And people, oh, Annabelle had a black spirit up in her. Girl, just stupid ass shit. And I'm just like, so they named a black doll, a doll with a black spirit trapped in an Annabelle? On top of that, are they saying it's a black spirit because Annabelle is fucking us or shit? Why are black people always depicted as fucking shit up? Oh, she had to be black because she was fucking some shit up. Like, what? And then when they say they're racist, but you see it too. You said yourself. And that's the type of shit I be talking about. It's confusion. It's confusion. It's fucked up communication. It's fucked up communication. Like I said, am I the only one that pays attention to? I know I'm not, but I'm just asking. Am I the only one that pays attention to shit? Am I the only one that also know the real story behind Marie Laveau? Am I the only one? I know I can't be the only one that be up on here that knows the real story behind Marie Laveau. And that energy get recycled throughout every generation because our generation had Miss Cleo. Hello? Within the next 100 years, or maybe even 50 years now, there's going to be a new type of energy that's going to come out for the black folk. And that's what they do. That's how they play with us. And then people fall for it and they, well, I believe it because, I mean, if it wasn't true, then how can it? Right, right, right. Okay, that's true. But during Marie Laveau's time, black folks are still oppressed and still getting done up in the South. And allegedly, what she was charging, the average black folk couldn't afford that. And she was very much connected to a lot of white folk. But she became the queen of voodoo. She became the queen of New Orleans voodoo. And then you look at these spiritual practitioners who try to model themselves off of her. They start wrapping their hair up in white clothing and shit. And you're like, oh, that's why. This is making sense now. Making a mockery of a depiction. It's kind of like you watch a movie and you see a character in the movie and you start gravitating towards that character. Oh, I love that movie because in that movie, this character was kicking ass and I was loving that. So, you know, you start modeling your life out there. Oh, I'm going to be just like blah, 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 blah. Girl, this is the time that people would have to be sober. This is a time that people need to, you know, change their diet and eat right and sleep right. You know, you don't got to be full blown plant based and vegan, but definitely, you know, sleep, stay hydrated, you know, get your rest, try to nap, every, 6, 7 hours, try to close your eyes for just 5 minutes. It actually says every 4 to 6 hours. Try not to, be distracted by much in any given day that can overstimulate you, that fucks up your nervous system. Like there's a lot to keep yourself up, to keep yourself in a good frame of mind, and to keep yourself in a state of manifesting. This whole you're always on edge, I have insomnia, that's not good. That's not good, baby. Lack of sleep, influenced by chemicals, toxic chemicals. That's not good, babe. Intoxicated, aka high or drunk. That's not good. That's not good, babe. And anybody that's telling you and inciting you to do that, they're not good for you. And if you want it, well, who am I to say it's not good for you, baby? That ain't my business. That's your business, girl. Hello. Hey, Jim Crow is not Jim Crow. What's his name? Jim Jones. Girl, he had all those people down there in Jamestown drinking that purple Kool-Aid, and they all died. They all followed this man. Girl, okay. Okay, girl. Y'all drinking the Kool-Aid, girl. That's your business, not mine. I'm not drinking no Kool-Aid. Girl, you ain't gonna fuck me up. Oh, yeah, get high, man. Yeah, I'm telling you. You'll feel... Have you ever did Awashika? Have you ever did DMT? Oh, God, it's like out of this world. Like, I want to have a spiritual, breakout. And I'm like, do y'all know that just between you and I, there's a part of your brain that naturally releases DMT? Do you know that there's a practice that you can do that include a breathing exercise that will give you the same euphoric feeling as ayahuasca? Did you know that? And tapping in and seeing spirits and stuff? Like I need y'all to understand the propaganda. I need you to understand the storylines that they tell you to dumb you down. And now you think you did something special because you did ayahuasca smokehouse session. The fuck? And what type of spirituality has this given you? What do you have What did you learn spiritually that I have not learned or I cannot learn without being an ayahuasca? Hello? Like, break it down to me. Break it down to me. LSD, not DMT, LSD and all that. Yeah, oh, on LSD, man, it just put you on an episode. You're seeing shit on meth and shit too. Like, what? Like you're really that dead? You're really that empty? Like, wait, what? What can those things do for me that I cannot do or feel without being on that? Hello? Like, I would love for someone to really explain some things to me because I'm honey, there's a lot with a lot. Okay, I don't know. I really don't know about Marie Laveau, in my honest opinion. I don't need to be near her energy. Well, I've dealt with enough Louisiana witches to know something in the milk ain't clean there. Well, you said it. You said it. And it's also crazy that everybody flock there. What comes to mind is New Orleans, the place of the gypsies. That's what really pops in my mind when I think of New Orleans. Everybody is like, I gotta get there, I gotta get there, I gotta get there, I gotta get there, I gotta get there. And I'm just like, girl, like, okay, listen, more power to you. You get there. It's definitely some magical things there because of the history. But I'm like, honey, that was land that was conquered through a warfare. And that war that was conquered, and I don't need to go into detail, it just opened up more rooms and more channels for more spiritual wars and stuff to go down. What major elevations have y'all had that came out of the French Quarters in New Orleans? If you think of high energy, I feel like Las Vegas have higher energy than New Orleans. If you think of energy and high energy, I think downtown LA has higher energy than New Orleans, the French Quarters. If you're thinking about energy and highness, I think New York, Times Square has more energy than New Orleans, French Quarters. So you have to ask yourself for real, what is really going on? What's really going on? Huh? What's really going on, honey? Hello? What's really going on? That's what you gotta ask yourself. So do you know about she did to Sanite Didi, the original Voodoo Queen in New Orleans? Well, I do know that Marie Laveau was a chosen cover up to what voodoo really is. And the story that is available to the public is that in order for her to go into a trance, she put a pepper on her tongue, and this pepper was so hot that it just knocked her into a whole new a state of trance. She was able to channel energy. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Louisiana is known for hot sauce and shit. And of course, it's known for a lot of other things. But I'm like, yeah, Louisiana hot sauce. People like spicy food. The occasion Creole food is very spicy. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, I'm a channeler of energy naturally. And I love me some hot food. I've never ate a hot pepper, Carolina Reaper, a habanero. Never had a pepper or scorpion hot sauce or anything spicy where I'm like, oh my God, I'm channeling energy now. Oh shit. Like, girl. I'm like, I know we all have our gifts, we all have our abilities, but I mean, ma'am, like, girl, that has to be, girl, that is the biggest, listen, that has to be a read on top of a read. And anybody who believe that shit is remedial as fuck. You telling me that a voodoo queen was able to put herself into a trance, but she would use the hot pepper to get herself in that trance. They didn't have any like herbal stuff back then. They didn't have no ashwagandha. They didn't have no valerian root. They didn't have no passion flower. They didn't have no lemon balm. They did not have, nutmeg, which also have sedative like qualities. It just doesn't make sense to me that she would be in her little tea. She'll have the pepper in her mouth and she's like, ha la 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 la, ha la la la, ha la 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 la. The pepper burning my tongue and I'm feeling the spirit. Ha ha ya ya. Holla holla hey. And God, listen. I'm not here to make anybody feel any type of way. I'm not here to read nobody down, clown nobody. I'm just saying, God bless y'all. God bless y'all in the ignorance and the lack of knowingness that you choose to be in. And I say that humbly and very respectfully. They didn't even know if, another story was that Marie Laveau had a daughter. She named herself Marie Laveau too. And she was going to be carrying out the legacy of her mother. And mysteriously, people were getting it mixed up. Was it the story of the mother or was it the story of Marie Laveau too? Not the second, Marie Laveau too. That's what they called her. And so it's like, yeah, but I mean, y'all kind of leaving out some stuff here. So Mama became a prominent, sought after voodoo practitioner. And the clients that she received were just so happened French judges, French lawyers, legal partners, and all this. And I'm just like, that's amazing. So let me tell you why that's amazing. Two things. She can ask for favors. She could say, somebody comes to her, hey, Marie, I am having problems with the sheriff. I don't know, deputy. I don't know. Parishioner. And I need you to ask the spirits to help me because they really coming after me. And I just can't keep fighting them off. And she's like, okay, of course. I got you, Miss Jenkins. Don't worry. I got you. And then she's acting like she's doing a ritual and shit. And she gets on the phone and she pull a favor. Hey, Judge, now remember I did that favor for you that one time? And I connect. Okay. So now I need you to have a client. And she's saying that one of the parishioners keep fucking with her and we need him to stay low. And so, okay, I got you, but you got to have me when I need you to. Okay, I don't always have you, Judge. Yes, okay, bam, there you go. But seriously, the parishioner leave you alone. Then you come back. Oh, Marie, thank you so much. The parishioner don't fuck with no more. Thank you so much. The parishioner don't fuck no more. Thank you so much. And she's like, yeah, another happy client, y'all. Girl. I'm just saying. There's a lot of stories out there about Marie Laveau. And I just, like I said, there's a lot of questions that I have as a reader of those stories, as a hearer of those stories, as somebody who taps in, somebody who goes into trances without drugs, alcohol, or even a hot pepper. I'm just trying to figure out how. And of course, like I said, maybe I won't get the answer, but I'm just real curious on, we know that a lot of cultures, a lot of people won civil wars, they won, freedom to this and freedom to that. But they fought these battles for so long. It would have been amazing to have just so happen a soldier or a captain who was an alleged voodoo practitioner to have helped win hoodoo, voodoo, santeria, to have helped these folks win this battle, this freedom, their way of being free to be free. It would have been nice to have the story to be that. They were led by Captain Blank, who was a Holland, he was a Holland prime minister, and he helped in the revolution. And coming to find out, his great great grandmother was actually a grand high priest from South Africa or North Africa or East Africa. Like, that would be amazing to get that tea. But nope. Coming to find out, it was somebody, just a normal, regular smuggler who led people to war. No divine intervention. No man who showed up, helped win, and then he disappeared. Guadalupe showed up to the mountain of Juan Diego on the side of the mountain. And, very, very, it was a very mysterious situation. And I'm just like, is there a history about something like that? We have all these ghost stories alleged. We have all these stories of alleged aliens and stuff. And they said there was an alien that came down, and we saw an old painting of Jesus, and there was alien ships coming down. Okay, girl. Now y'all really playing with us, girl. Now y'all really think we stupid. Y'all think we all stupid. But it's like, wouldn't it be amazing to say that right when Donald Trump was passing certain rules and regulations, that somebody's deity showed up. Oh, come on in here. Somebody's deity would show up and change his motherfucking mind. And or change the judge. Because we're dealing with high powers and principalities. We're dealing with dominions and principalities. We're dealing with high towers and high vibrations. That's what we're dealing with. Hello? Or get the judge to block the motherfucker's idea. Can we talk about it for a minute? Because we can always discuss ideas and regulations and stories that affected a bitch like me. And it got blocked. It got banned. So it would have been nice to see people, really tapping into energies and spirits, and the spirits coming in and saying, it's time to come home. You even had spiritualists, y'all, before the pandemic and during the pandemic, who didn't pay tax to the government. They deemed the government their enemy because they didn't want to pay taxes. They made, money, 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 money. They didn't pay taxes to the government, and they went to like South America, Brazil, and all this other good shit. And they're like, y'all need to get out of America. America's about to fall. And it's like, but aren't you spiritual? You can't be protected while you're in America because this is your home. Aren't you spiritual? You can't be protected here. You couldn't take your money and build an underground bunker and be protected, hid out. You couldn't go over there to Cuba like Amari Shakur and be hidden until her dying day. Like, y'all, I mean, make it make sense. Make it make sense. You couldn't live under the radar. You couldn't like change your name and wear a dreadlock wig, develop a different accent, and just stay where you're at. Like, y'all have to get down to Mexico, which is, not on the list, not on the friend zone of America like that. You have to go down to Colombia, which is in one of the forbidden countries. Like, you had to go to the places, even though you're in tune and you're psychic and you're spiritually awoken. Hello? And you're conscious and your ancestors talk to you. You have to go to the places that America deemed, and they didn't deem these places enemies because of natural resources. It's deeper than that. Okay, hello? Maybe back in the day that was the story, but in 2025, that's not the story no more, babe. There's other reasons. There's other reasons why. Okay? But it's like I said, why would you go there and get yourself caught up in that? And now you probably never gonna come back. And if you do come back, girl, they probably gonna have something real good for you. Girl, you're gonna be at a detention center. People worried about getting out of here, going into, and no, girl, they're gonna bring you back. They're gonna say, well, she was on a run, and we're glad you turned her over because we were looking for her. You come right back on it. They put you in the detention center, and they work they work you up. Anyway, listen. Like I said, I'm minding my business. Girl, that have nothing to do with me. What y'all got going on? Hey, y'all, listen. Hey, y'all want to do it? However you want to, however you feel it, girl. That's your business. Okay, I'm not here dictating the shit. I did those before shots or pills. Oh, come on in here. Yes, honey. About her killing all the workers. Right. Yes. 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 Yes, honey. Yes. Yes. Come on, Dee Dee. Hmm. What I'm gonna say is gonna make people mad, but I think that stuff they were practicing attracted Hurricane Katrina. Well, this is what I believe. I believe that the ancestors, and I'm really gonna be done. It's y'all supposed to be 2 o'clock in the morning, and I have to get up at 9. The ancestors do not like to be appropriated. The ancestors do not like to be lied on. The ancestors have been through a lot of things throughout their life, and they do not want their name to be spread out and used in vain. The ancestors were not pleased with, and is still not pleased with, and they fight it in different ways. They're not just going to cause a plantation to burn down. They're going to get in, they're going to change some shit, and they're going to put people in power to help change that shit. Can we talk about it? We're going to do something for that, actually, y'all, next week. Next week, y'all, it's my birthday week, so we're gonna be giving gifts to the spirits and stuff. That's what we're gonna do. Because I want some gifts. I want to give to the how let's do it. I want some gifts, so we're gonna give gifts to the spirits. How? Anyway, the ancestors with Hurricane Katrina, because I was like, you know what? They were like, yeah, the ancestors, they come back in a hurricane. The ancestors come back in a hurricane. Those 3 girls down there, this story's where the 3 girls that came back, boom, boom. And at first I was like, yo, that's true. That's amazing. The ancestors come back in a hurricane. But then I'm like, but in these hurricanes and the disasters and the things that go down, are they damaging, like, are they deleting information out of these libraries and stuff? Are they fucking up the government buildings down there to where the government, have to start all over again? Like, stuff like that happens. I'm like, if the ancestors are in that, you think they'll be doing more than just punitive damages. I think they'll be, basic, I think they'll be doing deeper, serious shit, girl. Like, this building was built off our backs, and y'all are not utilizing this building to advance my people. We fucking up. So, girl, now they fucking up the hospitals, girl. They fucking up the vital records. Like, girl, that's the ancestor work. Can we talk about it? So, what I think happened with Hurricane Katrina, I think it was a man-made situation. But I also think that behind it, the damage was more than what they thought the damage was going to be. And I think what happened was the ancestors sent a little bit of charge up. Because they said, bitch, I'm tired of y'all lying on us. Tired of all you witches over there in the French quarters acting like y'all do voodoo and hoodoo and shit. And y'all know shit about the spirits. I'm sick of y'all down here selling Florida water, 4 thieves oil and shit, 4 thieves water and shit. Y'all stealing ingredients, just water and shit. I'm sick of it. So I'm gonna send a little bit of energy, and it's gonna give you back what you put out there. And I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened. Because a lot of people, they recuperated. A lot of people lost their houses, they lost their, personal belongings, but they were getting like free TVs. They were able to relocate. FEMA sent them a check, so they were good. But it's like, if the ancestors are really fucking some shit up, y'all, vital records and shit would have been like, we lost so much. I mean, girl, allegedly they burnt birth certificates and stuff up, y'all, in the early 1900s down in Louisiana. I think it's like people were born before 1950. More likely they don't have the original birth certificate down in Louisiana. So I'm just like, girl, wouldn't the spirit do something like that if they really wanted to fuck people up? You wouldn't be getting little minor, things here and there. And that's it. Like, It'll be some real life shit going on, y'all. And that's what I be thinking too. Like, y'all really think that your ancestors were letting these people bully them and just doing shit to them? Y'all really think that? Because I feel like the skeleton key in Lovecraft kind of talked about it, like how the white and blacks, and I think what's the name of that movie too? Um, Get Out. Get Out, where they were like trapping white people into black bodies and stuff, switching out with people and stuff. Y'all don't think stuff like that really happened? I'm just asking. Y'all don't think that the story that they tell you is your story is actually their story? It never dawned on y'all? Because who's really the keeper of this information? Who's really the keeper of the information? During that time, there was no Chinese people in the South. You had some Hispanics, some indigenous people in the South, but for that matter, they were kind of like really only targeting black people allegedly. So it's like, like beyond, like, can we have like a secret disclosure? They talk about disclosures and shit of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King and shit. Can we have a disclosure of what it was like in the White House and shit during 1945 to 1972? Can we have a disclosure of that? Edgar Hoover, Roosevelt, hello? Can we have a disclosure of what was going on behind the tea? Because they said that Edgar, honey, what's the fuck is that man's name? My brain shut down, y'all. I need to go to bed. Uh, with all due respect, Daddy was a black man passing as a white man. Is it Edgar Hoover? There you go, Edgar Hoover. He was passing as a white man. Y'all gonna sit here and tell me? And I'm just saying. And there's a reason why they talk about white folks passing as black people or black people passing as white. Girl, they said that black folks pass as white folks. Y'all don't think they had white folks pass as black folks? Neither. Y'all don't think that, like, girl, let's talk about physical and spiritual. Y'all don't think that these people were switching out and the stories that they telling you is a switched out story? Because they kind of tell you, but they kind of not tell you. They're saying that 30% of 26% of slave owners are black. But everybody think that white people, oh, well, we don't really know the exact calculations. You type it in. Oh, we don't know the exact calculation of how many black slave owners there was, but there was far more white slave owners. Who said that, though? Who? Who said that? Because your documents got damaged in the 1940s and 50s, allegedly. So you lose the people's birth certificates, but you kept the people's record of who was slave owners and slaveholders and stuff. Make it make sense. I know I'm not just asking questions and just thinking to think because I love thinking. I do, but I'm not just thinking to think. Y'all don't think that they switched out with these people? Let's really think about this really quickly. What would be the ultimate magical ritual if you were locked down, shackled down, beaten, abused, sometimes taken off this planet Earth just because you were who you were? Your biggest magical ritual would be to be free, but your mind, you could only obtain magically what your mind can comprehend and is ready for. Can we say that together? You can only obtain magically what your mind can comprehend and is ready for. They were not able to be freed magically because they were not ready to be freed. It was already inbred in them to be enslaved. Their real hopes and dreams was to switch places. You don't think if voodoo and hoodoo and shit is real? Because I definitely think it's real. The ones that people practice now, do I think it's real? No, I don't. I don't. I don't. I think some people mastered some of the techniques, and they might walk in the flesh as black, but they don't have the rules. They don't have the issues that the modern black person deal with. I do feel that, because you're not going to tell me that you're magically you're able to influence energies and you have spirits that come in and influence, but yet you're still oppressed. Then what's the point of practicing magic? Magic is to be freed from the oppression. And so that's what these people did. And like I said, these people, you don't think these people switched? Like, you really think about it. What would be if they were not freed magically? What happened to these people? What did they do? What did they do magically? What did they do magically? Hello? What did they do magically to where they got up out of this? And they were able to like I said, they tell you half of the story. They don't tell you all of it though. They tell you half of it. Y'all better wake up, honey. And that's all I'm gonna say. Wake up, wake up. And that's it. They say, y'all, listen, let me take my motherfucking ass to bed. I heard of that guinea pepper ritual. They overused that storyline, right? She used a guinea pepper, a guinea pepper, a guinea pepper, a guinea pepper, a guinea pepper. She used a guinea pepper, a guinea. What she used a guinea pepper? She placed it on her tongue. It gets hot, and then she go run. She used a guinea pepper. She put it on her tongue. She used a hot. Then she run. The spirits be talking. She be speaking in tongue. Girl, bye. Bye, girl. Bye, hon. Bye, Miss Thing. Bye, storytellers. I was hearing one of the spirituals. I did a ritual for Marie Laveau. I tapped in, and Marie gave me a whole bunch of, like, I felt this energy surging through my body, and I was like, what was that? And I kid y'all not, I was like, for 24 hours, I was wiggling my little finger, and I was just like, woo, and then things would just happen, and I was like, what the fuck is going on, man? And I was just like totally amazed. I said, oh my God, I forgot I did initiation for Marie. Oh my God, I forgot I did initiation for Marie. Yeah, it was so cool. And then you ask this lady about her life before and after the Maria or the Marie initiation. And mama's still single, lonely, and broke. Single, lonely, broke, and miserable. The magic ain't working for her. So Marie gave you a day of magical abilities for what? Hello? That's all. That's it, honey. That's it, honey. Maybe she was a bit sadistic. I mean, well, that goes to another story. Another story is that, Marie was actually a adult worker turned madam. That's another story. So, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Humiliated, sadistic, bondage and change, and going beyond your limits. Oh, I'm down for that, honey. Hello? Yes, honey. Hello? I would have loved to live there in that time, honey. Maybe I could have showed Marie a thing or two. Hello? Miss Thing, she thought she was into bondage and she was very sadistic. I would have loved to be a femdom around that time to Miss Marie. Oh my God. Marie Devereaux, girl. Miss Marie Laveau. I would have loved to be a femdom during her time. And I would love to be her femdom. Get over here. No, let me stop. Anyway, on a serious note, God, I think stories like Get Out was about the generation of Black people being mind controlled. Yeah. Traumatized. Reliving their trauma. Stuck. Yeah. Stuck in the trauma. Yeah. Yeah. You said it, Jay. Yeah. King of Sheba. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. You said it. Yep. King of Sheba. Yep. You fucking said it, man. You fucking said it. There's a lot with a lot. And that's all we're going to say. And that's on spirit. Okay, that's on spirit, and and that's on the ancestors too. Hello, it's on the ancestors. That's on spirit. Okay, hello. Do we need to start getting real in our conversations, honey? Shoot, do we need to start getting real in our conversations? Realer, honey, girl, and that's on the ancestors, and that's on the spirit. Hello, baby. Y'all don't even know, y'all. Listen. I'm about to brush his teeth right now, and I'm about to lay it down. Ooh, girl. Yeah, I feel it, girl. My body's like, go to bed. Ew, 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 ew. I'm like, I am. Anyway, y'all, loving light. I was, okay. Listen, y'all, this is what we gonna do. Next week, I'm saying a lot. And also, I did 2 readings today. I do want to say, I forgot to say that too. Damn, I should have said it in the beginning. I'll post on a story. So, yesterday only was well, I did kind of say it up until in the morning, which is around 9 o'clock my time. Um, I can get back to you within an hour for the email readings. Now it's going to be pushed back to 3 hours for the $50 3 question. Give me about 3 hours to get back to you. It might be quicker than that. I'm saying give me up to that. If you're wanting to do an over the phone interview, or excuse me, reading for an hour, I do need that in advance as well, about 3 or 4 hours. You reach out to me, I get back to you, and we'll set it up in about 3 or 4 hours after you send over the payment. Okay. I'm even want to have it to where we're going to be doing it for 3 days only. I try to only do like 2 or 3 readings in a day. So we do, past that, we do 3 or 4. I will definitely let you know, hey, let's do it tomorrow. And maybe I'll offer a little something, but it depends on how that go. But yeah, shout out to y'all. Hope y'all have a good night. We'll be talking again very soon. Good seeing you, Zaina. Good seeing you, King of Sheba. I'm Dee Dee. Yes, honey. It's good seeing you. I hope you have a good night. I'm about to sleep so good, y'all. It's that type of cigarette when you sitting here and you feeling like, ooh, like I'm feeling wobbly and shit, y'all. I'm feeling like, ooh, I'm looking at Marilyn right now. She looked like she dancing on the wall. Hey, Marilyn. Hey, honey. Hey, Miss Marilyn, honey. Anyway, y'all, let me go. Bye. Love and light. Love and truth. Bye for now, y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Check out the blog.